All right, we'll do it live. Come into the room and we'll do it live. Come into the room, 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 come into the room. Come into the room, please. Welcome. Good morning. Good morning. I told you guys about how my husband and I it got colder. So like this past month, we haven't been able to jog outside. And so we use the stationary bike that we have inside for cardio. But I told you guys how we were jogging in the gated community that we live in. And there was this beautiful Black woman in her late 20s, early 30s, walking our way. And we were on a break, taking a little rest. So we were walking at that point. And, she sees us and immediately she goes, "Good morning." And I was like, damn it, because, I'm the kind of person that's like, morning. I am very guarded. Y'all already know that. I have to stay, I grew up in the hood. All right. So, when I see people, I'm like, morning, like I put a lot of bass in my voice, because you never know who people are, and life is scary, but this Black woman that lives in the gated community that I live in, she was giving me the suburban Black girl vibes. And as soon as we saw her face just lights up and she's like, "Good morning," and I was like, because it's hard. It's hard to, for me to kind of deal with the fact that, how I grew up and what I went through still affects me to this day greatly, so that I can't be the type of Black woman that says good morning like that. I have to be guarded still because it's hard for me to let go. And healing is hard and all that. Yeah. No, I'm not going to bore you guys with all that. Don't worry about it. Like, you better get to the girl. Okay, we'll get to it. Okay, we'll get to it. Okay. All right. Thank you everyone for being here. Wow, it's good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. Cosmic Journey, it's good to see you. I'm all right. I'm all right. I mean, wow. I'm thankful. Highly blessed and highly favored. All right. What's up, Juju? It's good to see you. Oh, hi everyone. Good morning. And so now when I talk to my dog, when I say good morning to my dog, I'm always like, "Good morning," because I'm like, that Black woman taught me something. I believe everything is for a reason. I do. And I believe me interacting with that woman, because it's a decent large gated community. She was streets over from where I live. I think interacting with her and her giving me that moment, that taught me something, that maybe I can be a little less guarded. I'm working on it, but it's good to see y'all. Thank you so much for being here. I'm the chipper morning person that my coworkers hate. Good to see you, Nisha Mac. Right, exactly. I'm not the chipper morning person at all. All right, you're gonna have to meet me outside. You're gonna have to meet me in the later hours for that. Okay, in the New York, in us, we guard it. Okay, Juju. Okay, because I ain't never bumped into nobody in New York that was like, "Good morning." Okay. Absolutely. Cosmic Journey says, "I'm not a morning person." I feel you on that. I mean, I've been up for hours, right? I'm a morning person in that the morning is my time. I love the morning. It's the weekend. It's the freaking weekend, baby. I'm about to have me some fun. Not really, but what I did was, I wake up the same time that I wake up Monday through Friday, which is, 6:30, 7 a.m. I get up, and I clean. Okay, I'm just being honest. I clean. This is, it's my early morning hours to clean. I like my husband to come down to a beautiful space, except his office. I'm telling you, his office is a mess. His office is a mess. But I like my husband to come down to a clean space, a beautiful space, a warm, peaceful space. You know what I'm saying? If I can hear him stirring early, You know, I'm a type of, okay, we talk about traditional wife. When we talk about traditional wife, I'm a type of wife, okay? As soon as I hear him stirring, I know he's gonna get up and shower. Let me go make my husband his breakfast. Okay, so those are the things that I like to do. And he sleeps in late because he works hard Monday through Friday. He likes to work on the weekends as well, but at least the weekends he can sleep in. So, you know, he's upstairs. I'm downstairs in the office, but I know he can hear me because I have a very loud voice. Um, so, you know, I'll try to keep it down a little bit because I want him to catch up on his sleep. It's very important. Let's see. Cosmic Journey says, where I live in the UK, they don't say hello. What? What do they say? What do y'all say? Top of the morning? I hope you get a top of the morning. Oh, wow. What's going on, UK? Hey, I'm going to need a top of the morning. Top of the morning to ya. All right. Jesus. It's good to see you, Pink Pineapple. Good to see you. Thank y'all for being here. You know, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to try to do this quick. All right. So I'm not going to be able to get to all y'all comments. That's why I wanted to say hi to y'all now, because I'm going to try to get into this quick. This is a video done by a woman named Ches Charday. And it was called "What Do Modern Women Deserve?" Okay. So what I found interesting about the video is that the women spoke a great deal about Brad, you know, and I had no idea that women who disagree with Black women swirling, because you never hear them say much about Black men in interracial relationships, right? Women that greatly dislike the notion of Black women in interracial relationships know so much about Brad. I thought that was interesting. Now, look, y'all know me. All right. This video is, I'm not going to, look, I don't, what? Not even the top of the morning to you. How? And you know, hey, it is what it is. New York is similar. New York City is similar. You're not gonna get a lot of good mornings, and that's why that black woman's good morning kind of threw me off, because you know, I'm in the tri-state area, just outside of New York, in this gated community, and you know, it's not a lot of friendliness, you know, and I think that can be sad, especially when you're a Black woman and you're taught that you have to be friendly, you know, because no one else is taught that. And so your friendliness is for naught. Okay. And that's why I advocate for Black women just taking care of yourself, staying to yourself, doing what you got to do. But, you know, I mean, she was a fellow Black woman. Of course, she says good morning. I'm definitely going to say good morning, you know. And my husband was happy to say good morning. He was like, good morning. You know, I'm like, oh, the happy club. Okay. It's 7:30 in the morning. Okay. Shit. And she was going to work out as well. She had a yoga mat with her. So, you know, it's so funny. People talk about Black women don't work out, but we'll get to that too. All right. I want to talk to y'all about my reaction to this what do modern women deserve? I'm not going to come at this from a place of defensiveness, where a lot of people come at things. You know, for example, these ladies, they're like, oh, we know good Black men and we're married to good Black men and we have good lives. So why do they constantly make content and videos where they're talking about, you know, what the divestors say about Black men, right? Because it's like, if you have a good life, why would you even need to answer to it? Right? Why would you even need to answer to it? Just keep living your life and be like, I know you ain't talking to me. That's what they do a lot to Black women, though. That's what they do a lot to dark-skinned Black women in the hood, right? That's what they do a lot to dark-skinned Black women in the BC, right? It's a lot of, well, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. If we're not talking to you, we're not talking to you. But these women feel like, you know, divester women that they think are essentially trolls, right? They feel defensive about what these women have to say. I want to make it clear from the start of this video, I don't feel defensive about what anything these women have to say. Again, I have been married for 6 years. I am a modernly traditional woman. I am a traditional wife. You know, my husband and I, we maintain very traditional roles. in our home and in our marriage. Okay? If you meet me outside, if you meet me in these YouTube streets, I don't have to prove that to you. Amen? I don't have to prove that to you because I am what I am, right? So I don't personally feel the need to prove that to anyone. But I feel like, when I look at the 4 women that did this video, I feel like these are women that I would see and I would be like, good morning. And they would ignore me because they'd be like, she with a white man. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the vibes that they give me. They give me, that they only want to interact with women that think exactly like them vibes. I know a lot of stuff is done on here, for the coin, for the attention, which is another thing that I want to point out, because a lot of these women will say, oh, they're choosing their educations over coddling men. I'm sorry, but that's what it sounds like to me, right? Because how can you help a man if y'all not educated? How can y'all help yourselves in a world like this? This is a capitalist society. This is a white dominated society. If you're not educated, what are you? So I find something hypocritical about this. You're educating yourself to better yourself. But if you look at their videos, the women in this video, and you can type in the title and see the women that are in the video, that is, it's 4 of them, but it's hosted by Ches Charday. We have the same middle name, Ches, but mine is spelled like the singer, Sade. You heard? Okay. So anyways, yeah, again, these women, they seem to only like other women that think exactly like them. Excuse me. I'm not a person like that. And I know that my channel is a difficult space because of that, because there's a lot of people on my channel with a lot of different opinions. That's why, I get decent views, but the subscribers, people are like, well, are you going to agree with everything I say? And the answer is no. I'm not going to agree with everything you say. I've had a very particular life. And I haven't had the luxury of meeting people who understand what my life is like, understand what I've been through, or care. I haven't had that luxury. So therefore, I don't have that expectation when I meet other people. I don't expect people to understand me, understand what I've been through, and I'll be damned if I put on a show so that you feel like I agree with everything you say. People are different for a reason. Let's just start there. So yes, this video is featuring 4 ladies of the manosphere. And, oftentimes these women say, we're saying things that black women don't want to hear, right? I mean, I know as a traditional wife, a lot of the stuff y'all say, I damn sure don't want to hear because it sounds hateful towards black women. And, you can look at these people's pages, their community tabs. It's a lot of body shaming, right? It's a lot of body shaming and texturism and hair shaming, right? Because if you're going to shame black women for wearing wigs in a society you haven't dominated, that's a shame tactic. A lot of times they'll be like, what do you want us to do? Go out, dominate, or shut the fuck up? Now, you could talk about certain things, but y'all talking about how systems affect people, but you don't want to, you don't want to look at how the system affects people. I'm sorry, you just want to point out a behavior that you don't like. And you're mad at these women because that's what they're doing to you, right? They're pointing out behaviors they don't like, and you're saying, well, hey, there's a system. That same system affects your women and children. I don't see an understanding of that. I don't. And to me, that's coddling. So you can say that your channel is for black women, but if the majority of people on your channel are black men, the majority of people on your channel are non-black people who are happy to see you tearing black women down. See, These racists can come over here and have a party on y'all channel. A lot of these don't, Black women better behave a certain way or we don't like them channels have racist non-Black women on their channel. And then the women that are constantly talking about Black men, they'll have a lot of, racist white guys on their channel. Now, I'm not going to go on and on about racism to people who don't want to bother reading some books and understanding basic concepts. Period. Okay? I'm not wasting my time. People say, why you don't talk about this? And why you don't talk about that? Then set your camera up and talk. I could be doing a lot of things right now. But again, the reason I started my YouTube channel is because I see a lot of mess. I see a lot of foolery. And I don't see a lot of sound reasoning. I don't see a lot of objective perspectives. I don't see a lot of people looking at things from a larger picture. I see a lot of coddling and people looking for some coins. That's what I see. So I'm going to come on and actually be telling the truth, right? They'll be like, well, we're just trying to tell you the truth. I think a lot of things that these women say are valid. But again, Black folk need to raise their racial esteem because it's low. And the constant back and forth with each other doesn't help. I also notice, because I'm not one to, to sub. Bitch, I ain't Jared. I'm not Jared. I'm not one for subs. It's a lot of, y'all say this and y'all say that and y'all say this and y'all say that coming from everybody in these streets. It's like, why can't y'all put a name on it, though? Put a name on it. Everybody big and everybody bad. Put a name on it. Put a name on who you say is spreading hate and who you don't like and yeah. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm looking at this video from an objective perspective as I am a traditional wife. I believe that Black people need to empower themselves and not be having constant hatred back and forth with one another. It's not productive. Black people in these streets, and I'm saying these streets because y'all know what streets I'm talking about here on YouTube. Okay? Y'all love to talk about, well, white people do this and white people do that. 90% of y'all easily have not been around white people enough to speak on what white people, right? I mean, I live with one, so I think that helps me. But understand, I've lived with white people on and off my whole life. I grew up in the system. And I went to a private Catholic school, okay? So I have a very different life. There are Black people that are adopted by white people. Y'all don't understand how the world works. You live in America. I don't understand, y'all had the conversations that y'all have online, y'all don't have in real life. There's not been one time that I tried to talk to a Black person in real life about stuff that's talked about on YouTube. They ran out the restaurant and shit. I've had Black people who were like, I'll never be with nobody else but a Black person. I'm like, okay, let's talk about how racism impacts the community and what we need to do. I'm sitting here talking about that. They up there, there's white people around. Yeah. Y'all get y'all little behinds online and talk about shit all day in front of them. I'm talking about what can we do? What's the problem? So y'all not having these conversations in real life. So cut the cap. Again, their videos are largely not being watched by the women they claim they're trying to reach, right? He's not trying to reach me because 2 out of 4 of these women are married. So automatically the 2 that aren't married couldn't help me with anything, right? And then the other 2, as Black women, insist that being a wife looks a certain way. And if you don't do it this way, so I can't get anything from that either. You see, I'm in a relationship where I don't have to tell my husband everything he wants to hear for him to love me and for our marriage to work. And we've been together for 12 years. I don't have to do that. And I'm not going to. I'm not going to do that. Now, I cook. I cook very well. Check out my Instagram page, DanieSteel. I clean very well. My great grandmother taught me. But again, it's like, are you trying to reach out to women? Are you trying to have women as an audience, or are you just trying to shame women to get point and clout from these guys? Because to me, that's what it looks like. It doesn't look like you're trying to help women. So I'm not going to feign that that's what you're doing. I'm not going to do that. And I assume they won't even hear this video. I'm not one of the people that people, are checking for, because I don't have, some crazy controversial opinion. So I don't assume that they'll hear any of this anyways, but I'm just going on what I see. This is content that they created and put on YouTube, and I'm responding to it. So obviously, when you're with a man, I know, being with my husband for 12 years, approach matters. How you speak to men versus how you speak to women versus how you speak to children. There's a lot of different things you have to do to get the results you want. There is no way that y'all are trying to help Black women with the approach that y'all have, which looks to me primarily to shame Black women. Shame Black women that aren't with Black men, and shame Black women that are fat, and shame Black women with educations. That's what I see. That's what it looks like to me. And I don't expect them to change that, because money is money. And what's accepted is what's accepted. Why would they change it? It works for what they're actually trying to do. But understand, if you come across this stuff, this is what I see. It's not rocket science that approach matters, and there's no way that the approach that they take when speaking about women is an approach. You can't talk to me any old kind of way. I told y'all in the community tab why I don't go to hairstylists no more, because I have to find one of those hairstylists that costs a lot of money, and I ain't got the money like that. Because you have to give them a lot of money before they give you basic respect. A lot of money. Y'all know that. You can spend $2,000, $3,000 in these hairstylist places, and they won't give you a little bit of respect, because beauty is the name of the game, and everybody want their hair done. Everybody, nah, bitch, I'll wear my hair as is. Fuck. I'll put on a hair hat. I don't give a I don't put up with bullshit. And we talk about divesting. I've always talked about it in terms of toxicity, in terms of things that do not serve you. I was the first person to state that. And you can look at my older videos. I was the first person to state divesting means leaving things that no longer serve you. So people take shit from my channel, and they know I'm not out here looking like a clown for clicks, so they run and take my points. That's fine. Put some respect on my name. So anyways, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all tolerate disrespect. That's why these hairstylists disrespect. And we sitting here working hard for them, and the laws that are, preventing them from getting work. We're out in the streets working hard for them. And then you go into their salon and shit is dirty. You got to wait all day. Nah, of course, that's not every salon, but I live in New York, and I haven't been to one yet where folk know how to act decent. In fact, the next time y'all see me with an amazing hairstyle, okay, it will be because I flew to Atlanta. You understand? Because my husband was like, maybe you should fly to Atlanta. I'm like, why do you know this? But you're right. All right? I heard they do it a little better and a little different in Atlanta. So, when I have the time to fly out to Atlanta, probably won't be till next year. I don't like to travel with different variants out there neither, So it's always a mess. Y'all know I'm a germaphobe. Okay. I think a lot of their content is centered. This is one of the reasons why I'm not particularly triggered by their content, even though the thing that triggers me most about their content is them lying and saying they're doing it for the benefit of Black women. That's what triggers me, because that's a fucking lie. I don't think Black women should hear somebody, I know, I've seen it. Y'all will go to a YouTuber channel and they'll be like, I F y'all, and that's why y'all stupid, and that's why y'all bitch unsubscribe. You ain't talking to me no kind of way. Fuck. I don't give a fuck who you think you is. You ain't shit. A lot of these hoes is out here lying. I believe that these women are talking about the hot girls, the Fodicals, you know, the Brittany Renner types. When they talk about modern women, obviously, right? How I consider myself a modern woman is that I have modern thinking when it comes to the world we live in today. And again, I've said before, if you're interested in a society where women have to automatically submit to you because you're a man, and but for nothing else, there are plenty of societies like that in the world. It's going to be a little hard for y'all in those societies because you're not a part of their society and they're not going to want you there. But go ahead, go on over there, guys. Y'all can live in those societies. Oh, sorry, I don't know what the hell that was. Sounds are coming all from over the place. All right, music playing. I don't want my channel to be messed with. Random music playing. There are societies in the world where women have to respect men on the basis that the man was born a man. America's not that society. We're trying to get it to not be a society where people get more privilege just because they were born with a certain look. So why would that change and be okay for men? Now, I think a woman is supposed to respect and honor her husband as he is to her. If people want to play traditional roles, that's great. If they don't, whatever. But y'all expect women who aren't married to be traditional. I think it's fine that a woman be modern until she meets a man who makes her feel more traditional, right? Who makes her feel like, all right, I want to have a traditional marriage or a traditional union here. But I'm not feeling the shaming of modern women in general. I know it's a lot of shaming of modern women. Like, ha ha, look at them lose. And what are men? Most of y'all ain't married. How is that traditional? You're not married. What makes you traditional? Because you expect submission? No, that makes you crazy and delusional. That doesn't make you traditional. Where are you protecting and providing? Because we know y'all won't do it for the collective. We know you're not married, so who's you doing it for? So anyways, it's like, why y'all love to pick on women, pick on Black women in particular, any way you can. And it's like you're clowning yourself in the process, because if you try to clown Black women and you're a Black woman, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point of that? You could really be sitting up there saying, hey, I know the majority of Black women want to be with Black men. And as a woman that is with a Black man, let me tell y'all some things that instead it's just a bunch of hatred and out of controlness, and cap. So again, I'm not triggered by the gist of these women's content from me, myself personally, because I'm not delusional. I've never said over here that all you got to do is show up and that you deserve a high quality man. I've never said that. Okay? I've worked very, very hard in my life. So I knew I deserved a high quality man. That's point blank, period. And if you want to work hard, then you should get what you deserve. That's what I believe. Again, I also think when we talk about delusional women, because I've seen a lot of delusional women in these spaces, honestly thinking that they can just, not understanding. I've seen a lot of delusional women in these spaces, not understanding how important attractiveness is to men. I will say that. I've seen it, and I don't like that kind of content either, because I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't have anything in your life that could prove you know what you're talking about. But you're on here like the narcissists that y'all are. And please understand, Black people have a very big problem with narcissism. I talk about psychology a lot on this channel. I believe in knowing who you are knowing what's going on with you, to heal, to level up, to thrive. And we have a lot of people with mental illness on here, unchecked, undiagnosed, telling people that they're leaders just because they set the cameras up. I've never told nobody I'm a leader or nothing. You can listen or not. But what I've manifested for myself as a dark-skinned black girl living in the hood my whole life in the foster care system, surviving the crack cocaine epidemic, what I've manifested for myself is incredible. Whenever you get out your feelings, babe, you might want to do it just like me. Okay? Ken, I was planning on making that chicken when I get off here in the next half hour. Okay. Morning. Good morning. Good morning. I know he heard me saying that upstairs, and that's why he got up. Okay, so yeah, it is delusional to not understand how much men base things on attractiveness. You know what's also delusional? To think that you can be in a relationship with a man and do everything the way he wants and says because he's the man and think that that's going to work for you. I think that's delusional. The overall generalizations and othering of black women who don't think like you and this idea that they are therefore less than, I think that's divisive. And y'all know, like I said, you're not going to like what I have to say, period. I'm going to come from things of my perspective. I'm not identified as any other man. You know, I've heard Ches Charday, who made this video, I heard her say, well, of course I'm black male identified. My husband is black. So, I mean, and that's great. If that's how you want to live your life, great. But why are you telling other women that how they think is wrong? I don't care if I was married to a woman. I'm not going to think like her. I'm going to see the world from my perspective, my experiences. I'm not going to change that. You have to be yourself. You cannot infantilize these men. They have to think for themselves. Not sitting up there knowing, mama always worried about everything I do. Big mama always worried. Now my wife is thinking that everything she do, she's considering. Well, I mean, as a married woman, we have to think enough about, I got up this morning. I can't stay on here with y'all for hours. I have to make my husband breakfast. So I understand how, you know, we love our husbands. But what do you mean you just have to see things his way? And everything you say is what a man would say? That's bizarre to me. That's bizarre to me. This Ches Charday lady seems very intelligent. I like her tone, you know. I think her and her husband, you know, a very nice looking couple. She always compliments people before she gives them that shady read. I'm not going to give you a shady read. I'm just calling out your content. And like I said, I agree with a lot of y'all points. I think a lot of what y'all have to say is valid, especially when you're married and you're trying to help black women who by and large are not married. But the othering and the divisiveness, that's not going to work. They don't even like me because I'm not that divisive. So Lord knows, I don't know exactly what will work, but for me, you know, it's not it. But again, I don't do ad hominems. I never have. So if you see the video and you want to respond to stuff, let's all be respectful. Okay. Let's all be respectful. Okay. You know, you have a panel where you're talking about what do modern women deserve? And all four of the panelists think alike. I mean, just say you're trying to, you know what I'm saying? Just say that you're trying to squat up. but it's not, to me, it's not a diverse discussion. There's no one in the world that thinks like me. So if I bring people up, it's with the knowledge that none of these people think like me. But y'all all think alike. And again, like I said, when I talk about being divested, I talk about it in terms of things that no longer serve you. I've been divested most of my life. I don't fuck with family members that act like that. I kept having family members, lighter skinned women who had a totally different experience in their blackness than me, dismissing my experiences with colorism, dismissing, the experiences I had in the dating scene. They was constantly with the genuines and the genufines. Okay. I'd be like, ooh, right? I was mad excited. I was like, when I turn 16, right? I was like, it's gonna be Genuine City, right? No. The genuines and genufines, that's not who I got. Okay. All right. They was handing me any who shot John. Be like, why don't you want to go out with this little rascal or that little rascal? It's like, why do I have to go out with a little rascal? Where the genufines at? Y'all got a plethora of genufines. I seen them. Right? So it was just always assumed that, like, I was going to date just any old dude as soon as I turned 16. You know what I did to that? I didn't date until I graduated undergrad. I was like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. I had, let's be real. The most Black guys that tried to date me was before I turned 16. Because I went to an all-girls school. So let's keep that in mind as well. I went to an all-girls Catholic school. So as I got older, I spent most of my time in school, and I wasn't around a lot of, the hood guys I grew up with, okay? But, before I turned 16, these guys were trying to date me, and I told them, I don't want to date, right? And then they'd be mad and stuff. But even these dudes, decent guys, I'm not being like, they didn't desire me. I'm just saying they, we was all looking for genuine, okay? But it wouldn't matter if it was a genuine. I did not date before I turned 16. That was something my mother asked of me. And, there's a notion out there that you can't tell teenagers nothing. Kids are going to do what they want to do. I don't believe that. I didn't grow up that way. I did everything that my mother, my great-grandmother asked me to do. My mother passed before I turned 16. And when I turned 16, it was with the knowledge that my mother asked this of me, and I gave it to her. By the time I was 22 and had never had a boyfriend or dated or anything, I was like, oh my goodness. The only time I'd ever kissed a guy was on stage. And I was just fine with that. I'm not a woman that needs male validation. That's just me. So, before I continue, let me try to read some of y'all's comments. Juju says, all of it is ridiculous. This pandering is too much. Shaking my head. Absolutely. It's too much pandering. It's too much pandering out here. And I'm going to play. So stick around. I'm going to play some of the things that they said in this video as well. But first, I'm just going to go over some points before I play it. Cosmic Journey says, yes, the racial esteem is very low. Thank you. You guys are highly intelligent over here. You're not like any other audience I've seen on YouTube. And that's just a fact. Shout out to my Steelies. I don't care if it's only 10 of us here. I don't care. I'd rather have it be 10 very smart, intelligent, critical thinkers, observant people, objective people, than people who just want to hear the same old tired narrative that's not helping them out. Juju says, people should love who they live with without it being called a name. These YouTube channels don't know anything but the money. Thank you, Juju. Exactly. That's exactly it. I never saw me and my husband, we're a married couple. People are married couples. I don't say that it should look this way or be this way for anyone. And I've had racists come over here and be like, why aren't you telling them to date out? I swear to God. And I'm like, I don't tell people to date in or out or anything. I tell them to look for a good partner and good people. That's not my place. That's a money grab. Now, you can observe how I move and understand that I'm going to put myself first. Not a man, myself. And I encourage you to do the same. And when you get married, that's when dynamics shift. And not but until. And even then, you still have to put yourself first and your children first before a man. Y'all safety first. I'm not saying if the kid's like, F dad. You're like, yeah, F dad. Or, whatever, right? That's not what I'm talking about. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then, get help. I don't know. Good morning, Naima. Good to see you. I hope every day I run into you in the city so I can have this conversation with you over drinks. Oh, my goodness. That would be so great. That would be so great. And definitely, if you see me in the city, let me know. Let me know. Juju Bean says, it starts from home. A lot of people are spiritually and mentally damaged, men and women. They need to work on themselves because they'll be toxic to whoever they be with. Exactly. Exactly. It starts within. It's the inner work. It's the soul that needs the surgery. I said that before. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I did not say that before Beyonce. Okay. Thank you, Cosmic Journey. I appreciate that. I mean, that's, to me, is all that it's meant, because I don't center men in my life. I center my husband because he's my husband. I don't center men, and that didn't change. Once I got married, and the way you do things, of course, changes and stuff because you're married and stuff. I wasn't like, all men. Now, fuck all men. I can't speak for all men. I can only speak for mine. I got a good man. A mighty, mighty good man, baby. Okay. Hello, Alexander Brandon. It's good to see you. Cosmic Journey says, it's weird to live for someone else. Exactly. Like, what? Man, I did that shit my whole fucking life, constantly thinking about my siblings. I would wake up in a sweat, crying, thinking about my siblings as an adult. Being like, where are they? I hope they're okay. Is they daddies waking up in a sweat, worried about where his kids are, hoping they're okay? No. Like Kamala Harris said to the black community, I'm not going to do something just for black people. No. No. They daddies ain't doing that. Why should I be the one doing it? And I did it because my grandmother passed, my great-grandmother passed, and I felt like somebody's got to take over praying for us every night. Amen? But at the end of the day, that's not my job. My great-grandmother did that because her grandchildren didn't do right, and she was trying to help her family, where she prayed for us and thought about us every day, and you could feel that love. I don't owe nobody that but my children. Fuck out of here. So no, I don't think about them like that no more. I wake up in the middle of the night, and I have calm. Hallelujah. I worked hard to get there because I told them and I showed them that love, and they gave me their ass to kiss. I'll be damned. Okay. Shit. Oh, thank you, Mercedes. Thank you, Mercedes. That's so kind of you. Exactly. I don't know an intelligent man that, wants some woman being like, it's like that scene from Coming to America. Hop on one foot. Bark like a dog. He gonna fly on out. He gonna be fluing out other chicks for that. Like, come on, you're so boring. Giving him everything he wants? That's weird, and it's boring to me. Okay. Let's continue. Again, all these women seem to think exactly the same. They have a black male identified perspective of life. I noticed that they use the word dusty, and I've been told multiple times by Dusties that if you use the word dusty, that means that you hate all black men. Well, that's not true. I don't know all black men. I use the word dusty to describe any dusty male, but again, this is the things that they'll say to me. But I noticed that these women were using the word dusty, and it's okay if they do it because again, they say everything the guys want to hear. So it's okay if they do something, but it's not okay if I do it because you're not doing what I want, saying what I want to do. Oh well, I'm not your mama. This is not gonna happen. One of the questions that they asked was, is building with a man, does that equate to struggle love? Okay. Does building with a man equate to struggle love? I don't think so. I think if you want to build with a man, like these ladies seem to want to do, then obviously you're not struggling because it's what you want to do, right? And see, there's a difference between building together and building him up. I'm happy to build together. I'm not going to build a man up, okay? I'm not going to fix his resume. I'm not going to help him get a job. I have my own life. If you can't do those basic things on your own, you don't need a woman. You need an education. Y'all keep shitting on education, but it's the only way, it's the only thing that's going to free you. They mentioned, we're not born with silver spoons. Again, that's why education, networking, access to opportunities, and working hard in general is so important for Black people to do. And y'all are on here discouraging getting an education. That's the cornerstone. Look how well, Asian people do in general, in throughout the world. Education is the cornerstone. Everybody comes here saying an education is what's going to help my family. They learn along the way that it's a lot harder than just getting an education that's going to get you to the top. And I believe that's why so many people that come to America participate in anti-Blackness, because they understand it's not just the education that's going to get me to the top. I need to participate in anti-Blackness. A lot of Black people that have money that y'all look up to, they're anti-Black. They're making money off of clownery and jiving, jump, jiving, wailing. So how is it smart to be constantly downplaying education, but you want to talk about building? Can you build without an education? Can you build without an education? The answer is no. You need to educate yourself about something. Even blue-collar men go to a trade school. They educate themselves on the craft of which they work. It's not rocket science. We can build together, but you have to be established in your manhood, And I believe Danica Marie was talking about, building from the early stages, and these women don't want to build from the early stage. How early? How early? The first year, I shouldn't have to help you build shit. But see, y'all want to get married in the first 2 weeks. Like, oh, we married now. Everybody trying to get married real quick so they don't look like one of the people that's not married. I'd rather be married to a man I know and know is a good person than just be able to walk around saying that you're married. Again, y'all don't understand. Go back to my video on the purpose of marriage. Y'all don't understand the purpose of marriage. It's not for you to walk around and say, I'm married. Showing off some little, basic ring he gave you. You're supposed to make sure that you get with a man who that engagement ring is a good portion of his salary, his yearly salary. Put it that way. Put it that way. See, when we talk about being married, that's not going to leave you with anything. Well, if you know that when you get married, the ring is supposed to be a good portion of what he earns, all right? A man's not going to walk away when he just spent $40,000 on your wedding bands. And if you walked away, you would get a good chunk of that. Of course, I don't believe in just walking away from marriages and whatnot. I'm just saying, when we talk about marriage and divorce, and if it's just a piece of paper, the ring is not a piece of paper. The ring is not a piece of paper. The ring is the name of the game, okay? The ring is the understanding. So I love my wedding bands, Um, they were exactly what I wanted. We went to the Diamond District in New York. That's where our jeweler is located. And I love that I can go in there anytime and he'll clean my bands for me, my wedding engagement ring and my wedding band. He'll clean them, you know. And I told you guys when we went in to pick out our wedding bands, it's a long process. You have to get paperwork to ensure the wedding band, to ensure the engagement ring. You have to get certification for the diamond, because no one wants to insure something they can't guarantee is real and of quality, right? So it's a long process, right? Trying on different rings and looking at different shit. My husband even asked me if I wanted a larger ring than I have. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. It was like a fucking fairy tale. I was like, what? The reason I went with the size that I went with for my engagement ring is because I wanted to keep it classy and dainty, right? I didn't want it to look like this, gaudy, piece of jewelry. All right. If I had to do it over again, I might have actually went a little bigger. Okay. But again, I love my bands. Bands will make her dance, and they ain't use their hands. Okay. So again, if we can build together, but you have to be established in your manhood. Um, I'm not helping you write a resume. I'm not helping you to get a job. If you can't do those things, I'm not dating you, and that's on period. My husband is more of an introvert than me. I've become an introvert as I've gotten older, certainly. I always realized I kind of was one. I just had to be an extrovert. And because I had to be an extrovert, I know things. I'm into the arts and things like that. Public speaking, um, sociology. These are things that I know and study, and these are ways that I've helped my husband. Okay, and my husband is a very intelligent man, so he's always helped me with understanding how to think more critically and challenging myself, because as Black people, we are taught to not think critically. One of the first things they teach you in church is don't ask any questions about God. Don't ask any questions. Just know God is here. Listen to the pastor who got multiple baby mamas or baby daddies. Their kids is, teen parents. Listen to the pastor and don't ask no questions. I grew up in a foster home with a pastor, so miss me with the bull. I went to Catholic school, kindergarten to 12th grade. I've studied the Bible my entire life. And yet I can still think critically and not sit around being like, the Bible says, like, get a clue. And trying to use that to make other people feel bad. People will do the Bible says to me, not knowing that I'm pretty sure I know the Bible a hell of a lot more than they ever will. I've studied religion and the Bible my entire life. Okay? Facts. The reason they believe they can build without education is directly because they lack education. Wow. Well said, IGFUAD, for life. Okay. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it all means, your name, but well said. It's tragic. It's tragic. I spent 7 years in undergrad and grad school And I demand the man that I be with put in as much of his 20s and his youth into making a better life for himself and therefore his children as I did. I'm not going to give it some guy that was like, well, I was trying to hustle in my early 20s. Okay, well, did it work? No? Goodbye. Should have hustled harder. Should have hustled your ass to college. Aries girl says, honestly, an incredibly expensive engagement ring is a complete waste of money. That money could go into a down payment on a home. But yeah, I mean, it's all based on what you can afford, right, Aries girl? You know, me and my husband can afford all of that. So, you know what I'm saying? Like my husband could afford all of that. So that's not a problem for us. But if you don't have the money for, you know, to make sure that you have a good home and a wedding ring, definitely, you know, pick and choose there. Again, you know, I live in the tri-state area. So this isn't a place to be owning homes unless you plan to be here for a very long time. And ultimately, as well, my husband and I don't plan to stay in this area for many more years. So, but again, absolutely, if you can't afford it and you want to be married and you want to have children, get the ring that you can afford. I absolutely agree with that. Get the ring you can afford. And if you guys are getting married and you want to have children, make sure you guys have a good home for yourselves. Absolutely. Financial security. It's a shame people don't understand marriage isn't just a piece of paper. It's supposed to represent stability all around in the home. Period, Juju Bean. You're an intelligent lady. That's exactly it. Naima says, when I was looking at rings, some rings are so large it looked fake or looked like I was a hip hop rapper. Exactly. I was like, I had worn, you know, a lot of different, you know, fake rings my whole life. So I was like, I want something that, you know, like it looks classy and dainty, not like all these like fake costume jewelry rings that I've worn my whole life, right? But yeah, still, if I could go back and do it again, might have went a little bigger. Okay, but you know, that's not something that I, you know, I've always, the ring that I have is the ring that I wanted. You know what I'm saying? So when my husband's like, "Oh, Doug, do you want to go bigger?" I was like, "No," because that's not what I was thinking that I would do. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to do it the way I envisioned it. And anyone that's on my channel knows that I'm not a materialistic person. I don't believe in rocking designer this and that. I believe in high quality things. I've lived in New York for over 10 years, so it's not hard to find high quality designer pieces in thrift stores and vintage shops, right? And I found a lot of pieces doing that over the years as well. So I believe in moving smart. And I'm telling you, it's not smart to marry the first dude that comes up that throws a ring at you. What's smart is to have your options, present yourself as a woman with options, and you know, be with a man that wants to, you know, show you the world and invest into you, right? And show you that he loves you beyond a doubt. You know, women have to sacrifice a lot in marriage, pregnancy, childbirth, rearing the children. So if the man can afford it, he should show you that in that engagement process, right? Okay. You can have both. Exactly. I don't know why. I don't live in a limited world, okay? So options, you know, I mean, limitations are not something I work in. That's why me and my husband dated for several years before we got engaged. We saved up money. He saved up his money for the ring. I didn't help to buy that in any way. But you see what I'm saying? We were in a good place where then we could proceed to do things the way that things are done when you're talking about marriage and hypergamy. Okay. Now I talk about marriage from an understanding of hypergamy. Okay. Okay. Education is one of the main reasons why Glenn Youngkin and Winsome Sears, who are Black women, won Virginia in the governor's race. There we go. There we go. Point blank period. Point blank period. I put my education over everything. did not date until I graduated from undergrad. They want to tell you to be sitting there vulnerable, no fucking knowledge in your head, 18 to 22, when you should be in college. They want to tell you you should be walking around looking like a lick for whatever guy wants to grab you. And I don't believe that. I believe 18 to 22, your ass should be in college, educating yourself, making connections, understanding how to critically think. And one thing I'm not going to do is argue with people that don't know how to critically think. And that's most people on YouTube. I'm not going to waste my time. I won't do it in real life. In real life, I'll block you, and you will definitely get blocked over here. I don't need it. What is high? What is higher? What is higher learning? Y'all need some higher learning. Okay. Naima says he saved up his money because he wasn't trying to buy Jordans and Gucci belts. Facts, I told y'all I just got my first pair of Jordans last year. I never even thought to be like, I need a pair of Jordans. We don't care about that shit over here. But we traveled the world, though. We've traveled the world, though. You know what I'm saying? We're secure. We're warm. We're safe. That's what matters to me. That's what matters to my husband. Jordans and Gucci belts. I'm done. Oh God, I can't. So let me continue, okay? My husband was not wealthy when we started dating. So when we talk about building, I certainly, y'all know I grew up in foster care. So I'm not gonna be like, and he better, right? So say I grew up in foster care. Now I did go to private Catholic school. So my education, kindergarten to 12th grade, I just have to be honest with you, was top tier. It wasn't the education that they give to most Black kids in America in these deplorable public schools. Okay. And I thank God for that opportunity, but it is what it is. So I was already, okay. I was already trained to be a lady. My husband also went to private school, a private all males school in the same, unbeknownst to me at the time, in the same town that I did. Well, in the same city area, right? In the same city. We went the same city. It's a city. It's not a town. It's a big city. Okay. He went to an all boys private Catholic school, and I went to an all girls private Catholic school on scholarship. Okay. So say I did nothing else after that, I still would deserve a man that had a good education. Hello? I've spent kindergarten through 12th grade in a very highly rigorous, competitive school. Top of the class-ish. Taking engineering classes, AP courses, honors courses. I was class president. 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. I told y'all the story. In 12th grade, they wouldn't let me run because they said you won too many times. You're a dark-skinned Black girl in foster care. And meanwhile, we've got all these girls here whose parents, they're not here on scholarship. Their parents are paying, and they want their daughters to be class president, so it looks like they're doing something on their college resumes. So they wouldn't let me run. Understand what I've been through when I put in the work and what the world has given me for it. So I deserve a man that understands how hard I've worked. Because he's worked hard, and he knows what the fuck hard work is. My husband did that. He was working hard in school as well. Brilliant, smart, intelligent, critical thinker. He came from the upper middle class. I came from abject poverty. But we both went to undergrad at the same school. That's where we met. We both went on to go to grad school. My husband's been to grad school and business school, which is also grad school, but specifically to understand business as well, which I think all men should do. I think if you're a man, you should definitely be getting an MBA. Okay. These dudes love to be like, business, I'm business, Daddy Samuels, business, you run a business? Like, you didn't finish undergrad, bruh. There's a lot of things you can learn in school. You learn on these YouTube streets. That's nice, but, Lil Nas X became a superstar from tweeting on Twitter. A lot of people come up because they study the arts of social media. I don't think that makes you smarter. I think that's going to make you money. So pick a side, okay? So when we talk about, helping your husband, I think that includes understanding, and I've told you guys this before, that men have to work, all right? And not placing a lot of stress on them. When you expect a man to protect and provide, allow him to work in peace. Don't bother him about how he's not spending time with you, because men have to work for the lifestyles that y'all claim to want. And a lot of women don't understand that. They want to be laid up and booed up with these dudes 24/7. That's not going to be a man that protects and provides. So again, pick a side, okay? One of the points that they made was, our mothers and grandmothers helped to build their men, right? Look, my great-grandmother taught me how to cook. She taught me how to clean. And she told me to never put up with a man's BS. Okay? And she showed that to me by never putting up with my great-grandfather's BS. Okay? They ended up getting divorced, but he still came over every Sunday for many years when I was growing up for Sunday dinner. And that was the only time I saw family was my great-grandmother. Everyone else wanted to succumb to the conditions that America places on Black people, and it's hard. But my great-grandmother refused to succumb, and so do I. And that's the only type of people I want to be around. I don't want to be around people with a bunch of fucking excuses. We already know the systems are stacked against us. But when I want to talk to you about what we can do, you don't want to hear it. You want to pop and lock and dance and freestyle. We got to get to work. So if you don't want to work, why are you talking about how unfair the conditions are? That doesn't add up. And education would teach you that. Hit the thumbs up button. Thank you. If you're in the room, please hit the thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up button. And subscribe if you want to participate in the chat. Because, y'all, like I said, it might hurt y'all feelings across the board. It's dudes that don't like what I have to say. It's women that don't like what I have to say. It's little babies that don't like what I have to say. Oh, wow. Hit the thumbs up button. Shit. Oh, Naima says modern women just means today's women, but there are modern men too. Exactly. I'm like, what's traditional about what y'all doing? I ain't never seen a man move the way y'all move. So what's traditional about it? Fuck out of here. Again, in the video, they talked a lot about Brad. And they're like, Brad don't want y'all, and Brad this, and Brad. They was talking about Brad like they knew Brad. And that was very interesting to me. I don't believe these women know many white people. So let's start there. I don't believe those 4 women know many white people. To be talking about white people. No, I don't believe that. Again, they make a lot of comparisons about, for what white people would do, right? So they're like, white women like to work. White women work in environments that are far more rewarding and safer for them than they are for Black women. Let's start there, okay? Anyone that's had a job in an office, at a company, at a nonprofit would know that. So the work environment is much more safe for white women and rewarding than it is for black women. That's why white women want to work. They don't want to work to build up a man. In fact, the majority of divorces are because of financial issues. So that means that what I know about white people is when the financial problems hit and this woman realizes she's the reason why the family's been kept afloat financially, she will file for divorce. That's one thing they're gonna do. They're not gonna sit in a relationship and pay all the bills for a decade plus. So what are you talking about? That comes from knowing white people. That's what I'm talking about. Like, y'all just get on here and be like, and on Mars, the people on Mars, you never met the people on Mars. Okay? Cut the cap. They get validation at work that black women do not get. So they enjoy working. It's not the same environment. Black women have to deal with misogynoir, anti-blackness in workspaces. It's not the same environment. That's why white women enjoy working. They get pay raises. You see the difference in disparity between what white women are made and black women make? So they like to work in general, and they're not doing it for some man. So y'all can miss me with that. There's no way. They're doing it for themselves. And when they, again, when they realize that this guy isn't contributing the way a man should, they will divorce him without hesitation. Okay? It seems to me like they want black women to pour into black men, but not themselves, and then hope that money is made in that way because you were pouring into the man, and of course you were working out, so he has something good to, right? Make sure he got something good to, that's what it's all about. And that you cooking and cleaning. I guarantee you, if you were cooking and cleaning and effing this dude that you also had to help build, he would be like, and can you get a job so we can have some more money? Because obviously we don't have the money. And you would have to get a job. And then you'd be having to work out and cook and clean and 50-50. That's a lot. So again, they went on to talk about how Brad don't want you. And again, that's fine. I'm not bothered by that rhetoric. I'm not triggered personally by that rhetoric, right? That's not been my experience. I went to PWIs my entire life, and that's not been my experience. Okay? I had a dude that worked at school. Older white men would hit on me when I was in high school. Put it that way. All right? And I had to curve them too. So, but there's a lot of, Brad don't want you. One of them said, Brad is busy. And how do you know how busy Brad is? How do you know that? Why does it matter when all y'all care about is black men? So why, if Brad is busy or what Brad wants, why does that matter? Because again, you're saying to these other women, don't talk about black men if you're into Brad. And like I said before, I'm into bag. You understand? I'm into the bag. I'm not into groups of people. Okay? I'm into myself in the bag. But right, when we're talking about them constantly saying, if they love Brad so much, then just don't be with Brad. Right? It's like, but why do y'all know so much about Brad? Isn't that interesting? Again, I don't disagree with everything these women are saying. Two of them are married, like myself. And, women that have lived with men and been with men or are married to men have an understanding of men that women who struggle with dating don't have. And I try to share my knowledge and experience, knowing this, right? one of the points that they make is that a lot of people that they call divestors, which is why I don't want to be lumped into anybody or anything, because ain't nobody here helping me with nothing. So I'm in my own lane. But they're saying, these divestors, they pedestalize Brad, which again, Ches said, well, why wouldn't I pedestalize and identify with my husband? He's my husband. Okay, so that's why these women are doing that too, essentially, right? Even though we know statistically Black women don't date out like that. So a lot of women saying that they're dating out, they are capping. They won't be able to prove it to you because it's cap. So one of the things they say, right, is if they think, these divestors think Brad is inherently better. And what I agree with that is, I don't agree with pedestalizing anyone but yourself. Okay, if you want to put an image on a pedestal, let it be your own. If you want to put an image on a pedestal, let it be your own. Okay, so my thing is, if you're going to pedestalize Brad, understand that in doing so, you're pedestalizing whiteness, you're pedestalizing Becky, right? Because if Brad is inherently better, then wouldn't Becky be as well? But these guys can come on here, white guys can come on here and jump in your chats and stuff and whatnot, but most of them are surrounded by white people, right? And they're not fighting for Black women to have better lives in their everyday lives. Most. Nobody is. So that's why I said, put yourself on a pedestal. Okay? I absolutely agree that they shouldn't be pedestalized, but I don't believe anyone should be pedestalized. So you need to watch how you look at things. You know what I'm saying? I grew up around white people my whole life, and there's nothing inherently better about any group of people to any other group of people. Again, I don't struggle with racial esteem. When people are struggling with racial esteem, which is the majority of Black people, because you live in an oppressive, society. You live in a society where Black people are treated like second-class citizens. By and large. Right? Now, I can go out with my husband. My husband would treat me like I'm the toast of the town, right? My husband, if it's raining, he'll drop me off. If we go out, he'll pick me up. He'll walk in the rain to pick up the car from the garage, and he'll be wet. And you know what I'm saying? Like, my husband does everything for me. He's great. He's brilliant. He's amazing. When I go into these PWI spaces, when I go into work, I'm dealing with racism. Okay? So the fact that y'all are working and are you working? Most spaces are predominantly white. If y'all are working in those spaces and you're not feeling any type of racism, congratulations. You did it. You did something that Martin Luther King couldn't do. Malcolm X, nobody could do it, but you did it. Congrats. But I'm going to live in the real world. Okay? Me and my husband were leaving brunch the other day, and I saw these two white women staring at me, an old white woman. And I'm not one to be sitting there letting people stare at me, So I was like, hi, hello, what's up? And of course, she just turned her head. It's like, bitch, you were just sitting there staring like you had a staring problem. I'll never forget, we were at Target, and a white lady my age was staring at me and my husband. He was kissing me. My husband likes to kiss me, okay? And she was staring. And I'm like, bitch, you ain't never seen people kiss? She was there by herself, single. They are living single, okay? There was a Becky with her kids during the pandemic. I told y'all about it when it happened. And she was like trying to tell my husband, to make sure he was, 6 feet social distancing, right? But the line that we were in at TJ Maxx, okay, the spaces that they provided weren't the required 6 feet spaces. Everyone was standing on those spaces. And then she's standing in line with two kids who are doing whatever they want in a large cart right? All we were doing was holding a few items. So I'm like, I think we're taking up a lot less space than you are. 1. 2, don't ever in your life talk to my husband. I don't want to have to call you a B in front of your kids. But I said, worry about your kids and that man that's not here with you right now. Don't worry about what me and my husband are doing. See, my husband doesn't say anything. He just ignores people. You're not to talk to my husband, Karen. We ain't playing by those rules anymore. I don't adhere to a racial pecking order. Again, I don't struggle with racial esteem. Nobody is better than me. Keep your fucking mouth shut, because I know you saw me standing with him. So why are you talking to us? Then she started playing the victim. Why were you talking to me? I gave you 2 chances. Shut up and turn around and take care of your kids. And that's why I can come on here and tell black folk, I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for us. Let's do better. Because I don't struggle with racial esteem. I don't adhere to a racial pecking order. I grew up in PWI spaces my whole life. I educated myself on what the hell I experienced and what's going on in this country, in this world, and I'm better for it. Come to my channel and get some of that. But again, and I've said it before on this channel, and I'll say it again. Y'all created this division. These Dusties created this division. And I'm not going to do their work for them and tell black women to shame black women out of how they have to heal living under these systems. See, y'all let these men treat black women, talk about black women in your kind of way, understanding, well, the system, and this is how they deal with being in the system. By going against their own women, now y'all feel like that's what the women are doing to the men. Okay, who's the head? And who led? Huh? And I'm not going to do their work for them. If these women want to be in those spaces doing whatever they're doing, oh, well, what you want me to do about it? They grown. Y'all doing the same thing. Cut the cap. People love to be on here and be like, I'm trying to help this and that. I'm one of the people on here that's actually more objective. Let's put it that way. And I make no apologies for being for black women. I'll make no apologies for that. I'm a black woman. Get real. All right, let me read some of y'all comments before I continue. Oh, Lord, y'all see how long I've been on here? I told my husband I'm making, now I got to go immediately from here to the kitchen. All right, and submit, okay? Hit that like button, appreciate it. Hit the like button. Don't be up in here hiding in the bushes and disrespecting my channel by not hitting the like button. That's the least you can do. You're listening. You're having the time of your life. Hit that like button, okay? My world says, hey, Danie. Hey, my world. I can't believe I'm up this early on a Saturday morning. I feel you. Facts. I saw it myself with my father's colleagues during the pandemic. He lost his job and stability for too long, and these women filed quick. Okay, quickly. We want to talk about something. White women help their man build, and they don't complain. Not one of y'all has a white girlfriend, do y'all? I still have white girlfriends to this day. I have white women friends. Get the fuck out of here. They ain't putting up with that shit. That's a joke. They don't even want y'all saying that shit. So stop lying on Becky's name. Okay? Shit. Facts. They always say most white women have jobs and help with the bills. Is that what they're really saying? Again, white women may decide, okay, I'll work and you can stay home because it's fun for them. They're in environments where they're being validated. But again, they're not going to go 10 plus years and look at that marriage and allow it to have been that they were the breadwinner for 10 years. They're not going to do that. That's a phase for them. Okay? They'll do that shit for 3-4 years and, and then be like, okay, that's it. What's up? Back to the traditional roles. Very few of them are paying the bills and letting the man stay at home. And if he is, that man is cooking and cleaning and doing what you're supposed to do in the home. And he's not complaining about it. And he's not demanding submission. Understand that. Now you're talking about the descendants of the suffragettes. Becky, if the man is staying at home while they go into work, that man is not demanding submission, and he knows he ain't gonna get it. So what y'all talking about? Stop lying on Becky's name, okay? Cousin Jerry says, yep, so many microaggressions. I was watching a video that was saying that most Black people have self-esteem, but we don't have racial esteem. Exactly. You think very highly of yourself, and you think very lowly of your group. No other group is working with those dynamics. That's why anyone that dislikes Black people, they need look no further than these YouTube streets for most of y'all's videos to have the time of their lives. And they won't get that over here. You ever notice how they're not here? Now, I have a lot of white subscribers, but I don't have any racist subscribers. Racists don't come here. You shall not pass, period. Mercedes says, why does divestment only equate to white men? Asian men want us too. Funny how they aren't seen as a threat. Exactly. So, is it a problem with being outside, or is it the way that you look at whiteness? Right? Because I don't look at whiteness in any other way but, a divisive strategy to oppress non-white people, particularly Black people. That's the only thing I look at it as. That's the only shared culture of whiteness. So I don't look at whiteness as like y'all be looking at that like it's a holy grail. If Black people, the way that Black Americans are in America, if we were in Asia, right, in the same way, Black women would be marrying Asian men because that's the majority of the people that are there. You can't expect to insulate yourselves when you have no infrastructure to insulate. Again, there's places you can go if you want to pretend like you're not a minority group in a diverse nation. You are a small group in a nation with a lot of other different people. Other men incentivize their women to not date out by providing and protecting. That's something that's lacking in the Black community. Now, of course, there are systems at place, but personal accountability has to be looked at as well. Has to be. IB says most marriages today are about egalitarianism. Okay, yeah. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen a lot of people, to be honest, right? Like I have friends they're both doctors. This is what I'm talking about. When we talk about egalitarianism, what I see is both of the spouses are artists, or both of the spouses are doctors, or both of the spouses are scientists. Not I'm broke and you grew up broke, so you should expect broke. That's not the kind of egalitarianism I'm looking for. Black men are always complaining about the system, and mammies and pick-me's are repeating their talking points. Exactly, Alexander Brandon. And that's why they get they give them such a hard time over there. I couldn't put up with that. You're sitting there, you're regurgitating their talking points, and they're mad at you for it. I will move on, okay? I'd be like, fuck it. Let them talk about this stuff and have no women agreeing and see what that looks like. Since when the women go to repeat what they say, a lot of times they get attacked. And it they won't do it all at once. They'll be like, well, we don't like so-and-so, but we like so-and-so. They don't like none of y'all like that, okay? Again, if the only way you can be liked is to tell someone exactly what they want to hear, that's mental illness. That's a hostage situation. Naima says marriage is not equal, bruh. Let's see. Phil says, looking at the picture you use for the theme now, you know not only are beautiful queens come in all shades, but also all sizes. So when you'll have to repeat that. But okay, it's just a picture. But that's my point. Is I don't have a low racial esteem. So I'm not gonna y'all be putting just the worst pictures of black people sitting up there laughing. What are you laughing about? Everyone's laughing at you. They're not being like, oh, yes, those black people, but not the black person that posted it. That's a different kind of black. I used the picture because I thought it was cute. Okay? God damn. All right, I'm going on. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Please thumbs up the video and subscribe. And I'm telling you, I'm going to be gone by 11 because I got to make my husband breakfast. Y'all know that. Okay. I'm making him grilled chicken. Okay? He loves it. Loves it. And it's healthy. That's very important for us to know that we're eating healthy because you never know what other people are putting in their food, So again, I love to cook. I woke up early this morning to make sure everything was clean. And, those are the things that are important to me as a wife. Anyways. Okay. So the host, Ches, brought one middle-aged white woman. I'm sorry, but of course I don't watch her content like that because she's not trying to make content for someone like me. But she brought one middle-aged white woman on her show to disprove interracial unions, I guess. But I mean, that just speaks to that woman's experience, right? Okay, I don't know at what point you were trying to prove, but I mean, yeah, life is hard y'all already know life is hard when, a woman is older and she's overweight, so, I mean, it is what it is. That didn't prove anything to me, because that's that individual woman's experiences. So again, as women get older and they're overweight, oftentimes their marriages suffer, no? Okay. And their relationships with men suffer, no? Okay. They mention how you got to do the inner work. I completely agree, right? I say that all the time. One of the questions that she asked was, should Black women divest so they can rest in their femininity? And then the other ladies laughed, which I mean, I don't understand. These are goals that women have, and Black women have noticed that. They've noticed that by and large, most groups of other women have a goal of resting in their femininity. And why shouldn't Black women have it? Instead, we were sitting there carrying the brunt of the labor. And I'll be damned, I had to raise my siblings while my daddy ran around and did whatever the fuck he wanted to do. I don't deserve to have a goal of wanting to rest in my femininity. I don't get the shaming of that. And one of the ladies said, I'm sorry, I don't know her name. But in the video, she's in the bottom right-hand corner, I believe. She said, you have to get under the leadership of a man. As a full woman, this is in quotes, you have to get under the leadership of a man. As a full woman, You have to get under the leadership of a man. You need that direction. You need that guidance. To that, I have to say is, how is that contributing to a relationship where a hardworking man needs an equally yoked woman to help their family legacy grow? How? When he's sitting there babying you because you are under the direction of a man, running around like some lost puppy dog. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Only an insecure man would expect and demand this. Only an insecure man would be like, are you honoring and submitting to me? Like, dude, what? Get the on my face. Go build something. If one of the things that they mention on the video is, if you're into white men, why are you always talking about black men? How is that attractive to a white man? I absolutely agree. That's why I don't talk about men over here. Period. Again, I was dragged into this, into these conversations when I started my YouTube channel because I'm a dark-skinned black woman and I was in an interracial relationship. I was dragged into this. People will leave a lot of these comments on black women who date interracial channels, and the women won't respond because, for the most part, these women are suburban black women, and it's a lot of, black people who didn't grow up in the suburbs that have a lot to say about it. Well, guess what? I didn't grow up in the suburbs either. All right. So you wanted the answer, I'll give it to you. You know what I'm saying? I don't run away from questions. And they have every right to not answer because they don't know what y'all are talking about, suburban black people. They don't know what y'all are talking about. For the most part. Okay, suburban. When I say suburban, I'm talking about upper middle class and up. I'm not talking about middle class and working class. That's a different dynamic. Okay? But again, I agree. I don't think that you should be talking about men all the time when you are married or interested in another man. Okay? I don't agree with that, right? I talk about black people and social, economic, and political dynamics that affect black people, particularly black women. You don't like what I say? Tough. But I agree that a good man doesn't want to hear his woman constantly talking about other men. So again, y'all was talking about Brad a lot in this video and how he not all that and how he's no better. You talked about Brad a good amount in this video, y'all. So have some accountability. It's the double standards and the hypocrisy. People are talking about things because they're social issues to be talked about. And I think that it's clear that that's how I address things. I can't answer for why other people do what they do. But for me, I'm going to address things as the social issues that they are. I study sociology, so these are things that I find interesting. And if I feel like they need to be addressed, I'm going to address it. And I feel like the hypocrisy that y'all overall give should be addressed. Just say that you're for, they're like, just say you want to be with a white man and go. Like, why do you care? I don't get it. They ain't got nothing else to talk about. It's a whole bunch of kids out here that need help. Why ain't y'all talking about that? Because, I'm here for black people in the black community and trying to make things better for the black community. Well, y'all gotta help these black kids the way I do. Talking about who the next woman is with, for what? And why she with him? And you gotta get a life, sis. But again, nobody's gonna stop talking about these issues. That's very well known. It's what people want to talk about. And it's what pays. So I don't expect y'all to stop talking about him, but I gotta call out the inconsistencies. Okay. Again, I'm a content creator. That's why I address many of these issues. Same as any other content creator out there. I didn't need a YouTube to get a man, and I would never personally be over here for that. Okay? So let's make it very clear, all right? As much as I love my Steelies, but for me being a content creator, I would not have met any of y'all because I would not be over here at all. It's too much toxicity from a bunch of people with low racial esteem. They were saying Brad won't make you feminine. Okay. Like I agree. I don't know, what I'm saying? Like, I'm not one of the women that says that. So, but I wanted to address it because I feel like a man who loves you, works hard to protect and provide for you, will help you become more feminine. Absolutely. If we look at women born into the upper middle class, they inherently have a sort of feminism generally through their father's protection and provision. And most Black people are working class. And, we have middle class Black folk as well. So when you're working to survive, femininity isn't something you can focus on. If y'all don't understand that, then I can't help you. It's common sense. Okay? And if I still lived in the hood, because life is hard for Black women, when I graduated from grad school, I had to move back. Well, not the hood. While I was in grad school, right? So after I graduated from grad school, I didn't have to live in the hood anymore. Hallelujah! That's why I went there. But while I was in grad school, I didn't have any money. I was a young Black woman. I had to live in the hood. I lived in Bed-Stuy, Bushwick. Last stop off the 7, last stop off the L. Riding on the ACE. Y'all know what it's like when you ride on the ACE and then all the white people get off. And then for the rest of the ride, it's Black folk. That's where I lived. And you're not going to tell me that, oh, well, you should be feminine without a man to... I should be feminine for a man when that's how I had to live. And without a man having to do anything for me, I should just be giving him femininity? Go ahead. I'm not doing all that. Nope. I've told y'all before, when me and my husband started dating, he paid for everything that we did. I never paid for anything, not one date with my husband. And because of that, he has a woman who, when she's with him, is happy to rest in my femininity. He is the lead because he's led. But when I'm around anybody else, y'all not getting that. Okay? Period. So this notion that I'm around my husband who has protected and provided for me for 12 years, I'm soft and the lady that he wants and desires, and then I get around a bunch of dudes I don't know, and I'm sitting up there, tee hee hee, I'm so soft. Get the fuck out of here. IB says, yeah, both spouses are working high-paying jobs, have a combined bank account, both cook and take care of the kids. In my experience, that's what I have seen from modern women and men. Yeah, sure, exactly. Absolutely. Seafield says, so when using images, include all sizes images too, please. That's what I'm talking about. Seafield's your troll. I don't have to find a picture that includes all sizes of women. Those women in the picture, the women whose video I'm responding to are all skinny. So why would I put a picture of a fat Black woman in there? None of those women are fat. Y'all always want to say something fucking stupid. You too, Naima. It's good seeing you. My roast, so that's what I'm eating right now. Grilled chicken, roasted squash, and cauliflower, and vegetable stew. That sounds good. Hallelujah. Yes. Be damned. Okay. I'm responding to the video, what do modern women deserve? Which Again, I feel like, obviously, manosphere men and women use the manosphere is a very man-woman space. It's interesting because the white manosphere is clearly all guys, but the black manosphere is men and women. I think that's great. I mean, you guys are a lot more modern than you think. You guys take a lot of advice from women, right? You're all on the channels. I think that's great. Very modern of you all. Very modern. I find that to be true from my experience growing up, mostly upper middle class. Exactly. So, exactly. It's really hard to be feminine once you're fully independent, I learned. You see? There we go. Exactly. Exactly. Like, it's the protection and provision that allows femininity to flourish. Not hood conditions, catcalling, street harassment, food deserts, dudes talking about you still saying he'll come to the channel talking about black women are fat. And what are you working with? What has the system done to you? Right? But I would be foul to sit here and read you on that, right? Then that's foul, right? You hate us. And y'all got the same waistlines that the women got. Y'all eating the same fucking food. I don't know who y'all think feeds y'all, but it ain't Becky. Same waistlines. Only dudes that don't got bloated waistlines are the handful that go to the gym and the plethora that are on that lean. So miss me. Doesn't it? Good to see you, Sun Goddess Ari. Especially when you have to move to Bushwick. Okay. Okay. So I think that when you're a black woman who grew up in the hood, you're working hard to get yourself out of the given circumstances and the abject poverty you didn't ask to be placed in. You have to set your standards high. That's what I believe. You have to set your standards high for yourself and for whoever you choose to surround yourself with. Well above the dust. Y'all know that. Well above the dust. And that's what you deserve, to have high standards when you're placed in situations like the hood, in situations like foster care, in situations like abuse and neglect, and you still take your ass to school and work hard to better yourself. You deserve a man who's going to do the same, period. Before I play a little clip from them, I want to also address how Ches Charday speaks to black men building, right? Now, I talked about on my last video about, right, how there was a Roman emperor that was a black man. If you know the history of Rome, they would bring in outside leaders, to be their emperor, okay, because they wanted to be the best, right? So I still can't remember his name, but there was a black emperor of Rome. I've talked about that as well on my channel. I've mentioned in multiple videos, right, about how unions were created to keep black men out, and that if you look at the history of the building infrastructure of America, you will see that black men have done the hardest jobs when it comes to building the railroads, building the subway tunnels in New York. You know how many black men lost their lives building those tunnels because they wouldn't allow the unions, the racist unions, would not allow black men to work in any other form but the hardest jobs. They had to work the most underground, the deepest underground, to build these tunnels. And a lot of them lost their lives doing this. And this is American history. We know that so many black men built things only for white people to come and steal it, claim it as their own. So I think that it's great Ches is doing. Don't forget Black women. You are one too, right? Black women have created and invented a lot of things too, sis. I think that that's great for you to be doing that series and educating people on that. But we also cannot ignore the disparities between Black America and the rest of America in terms of job opportunities, land ownership, and infrastructure. Yes, the system contributes greatly to the systems in place, right? Contribute greatly to this. But so does indignation. So does saying, "Oh, it's not my fault." This is, I told you before. My biological father, would say, "Oh, when he was in the military, the reason he didn't stay with the military was because they called him the N-word, right? So I guess he went over to fight in Nam, and they was calling him the N-word, right? So he quit the military." I'm like, dude, they called me the N-word since I was a kid at these PWIs. I got called the N-word right before I had to do a show because I was coughing. And some fat, nasty, worthless Karen, racist white woman was like, "Yeah, you called me the N-word." And I was surrounded by these white people that y'all claim to love. I was surrounded by white liberals when that happened. They did nothing. Understand this. I was not with my husband. I was at a PWI performing for a show in New York City, and I was coughing, and I had to spit up phlegm. And we were outside. It was an outside show on Governor's Island. I spit out the phlegm. It's not like I like spit it out in front of her. You know what I'm saying? You go to the side, you spit. But this bummy ass Karen, Becky Karen, called me the fucking N-word. And not one of my fucking, the people around me did shit. They didn't tell her it was wrong. See, this is before BLM. This is before social media was making people feel some type of accountability. But y'all want to say, and it doesn't matter. That's what I'm talking about. Because that's what they're going to do in the real world. Y'all live in a fairy world on here. So anyway, the point is, I had to get called the N-word too, but I still had to work. I couldn't give up. Why he got to give up? You will never be forgiven for abandoning your family to me. You will never be forgiven. God won't forgive you. Now, and that goes to any deadbeat out there, male or female. You will never be forgiven. So, there's no excuse when it comes to when you want to be skeeting and creating kids. You don't get to make any more excuses. Did you know that? I don't let people make excuses around me. And that's why it's not a lot of people around me. And I'm fine with that. I promise you, I'm fine with it. I promise you. Excuses are the tools for the weak. So let me go ahead and play a little clip from this video. I'm going to read some of y'all comments, and then I'm going to play a little clip, and then I'm going to wrap it up. All right? Because it's 11:10. I got to make, and while I make the clip, I'm going to start prepping in the kitchen. Okay? So let's see. My world says, "Oh, are those women that made the videos black male identified?" Yes, they are. Proudly black male identified. I separate myself from hip hop and R&B. Too much struggle, love, and degeneracy. It's sad. It's sad. It really is, And there is almost a sort of way that you have to practice a cognitive dissonance when you're listening to this music, hip hop music. That should be our music, right? Y'all know I love bars. Y'all know that. Y'all know I love hip hop. Y'all know I love Nicki Minaj. Okay, Onika Mirage. But you do have to practice, especially when you're listening to, male hip hop artists. You do have to practice a cognitive dissonance, I remember one of my favorite songs was Right Above It. Drake and Lil Wayne, 2010. And as I was educating myself and I'm listening to this song. I've always loved this song. I don't barely listen to it anymore because at first I would skip over the lyric, but I just couldn't ignore it. How do you say what's never said? Beautiful black woman, I bet that B look better red. I could not move past that I'm jamming to a song where a man darker than me with a dark-skinned black daughter, only wife he ever had was a dark-skinned black woman, chocolate brown, whatever y'all want to call her. And he's saying, how do you say what's never said? Beautiful black woman, I bet that B look better red. One, I mean, look how he's talking about black women in general, right? Beautiful black woman, I bet that B look better red. And again, I've told you guys, when it comes to hip hop, they have to emphasize that they're talking about black people in these lyrics because these CEOs that run the shit, and they love to be like, we're not responsible for what happens in rap. Cap. Yes, the fuck you are. You're responsible for everything you do. That's why Dave Chappelle walked away from the show. That's why Dave Chappelle walked away from Chappelle's show. Because he said, at first I was joking, I was kidding, I was having a good time. Right? Joking the way black folk do. Then I realized the joke was on me. These people are laughing at black people. These people are laughing at us. I'm not going to contribute to that. So he walked away. So don't fucking tell me that y'all can't control shit. That these male artists that contribute to that can't control that. So yeah, it's hard. It's hard when you love hip hop, man. Don't forget the newly released from prison. Hi, Fred DK. Good to see you. Don't even get me started on these white liberal leftist circles, the racism I have dealt with in those spaces. Thank you. The fact that y'all be coming on here and be like, they all love us. That's why, people will be like, what are y'all talking about? I mean, it don't take 2 seconds to know. And these are the ones that claim to like you. You ever been around them? You have to practice an extreme discernment about who the fuck you're around. I'm not going to be around anybody that thinks they're inherently better than me or thinks their people are inherently better than my people. I'm not going to tolerate it. That's just me. And I've told you guys, me and my husband have attended anti-racism workshops. We've talked about these things in therapy. We've attended panel discussions on it. No, my kids are going to have a life like I never imagined would be possible for myself. I couldn't give it to myself, but I'm going to give my kids everything. I'm not going to have my kids around people that don't understand, that have no empathy, that have no compassion, that have no understanding of basic history. Excuses are the tools of the incompetent used to build monuments of nothingness. Thank you, my world. I knew when I said that, I was like, my world knows the quote. Thank you, my world. Lil Kim, Remy Ma, Eve, Foxy Brown, Meg Thee Stallion. Exactly. We have black women in hip hop. And that's why, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is for us. It's our music. It's terrible how they did us. But you know what? Now look what they got. The ladies is coming out. Okay? And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. And hopefully people will learn to have a higher racial esteem overall and start loving themselves. I'm going to play for you guys a clip from this video. Again, the video is entitled, What Do Modern Women Deserve? By Ches Sade. I'm going to play this for you guys for a couple of minutes, and then I will come back to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for being here. Please thumbs up the video and subscribe. Thank you.
Supposed to do. Of course. No, that's facts. That's facts. For those of you who are on, please get the likes up. Tag anybody on this discussion who you think may find it interesting. We are talking about what do modern women deserve.
Nothing.
So did y'all have anything else to add to the divesting before I move on to the next question?
Go, sis.
Actually go divest, right? Please. So, okay, so this actually is another, and you'll have to forgive me. I created a few questions related to the divestors just because I've been getting a lot of personal attacks from these ladies. And look, I have no hate against anybody, but I'm not going to sit here and tell nobody no lie. So I'm like, let's have an actual factual conversation about what does it mean to be a divestor? What does it mean to actually promote that religion? Because to me, I think it's religion. Oh, but anyways, so I'm going to start with you, Danica. In your opinion, for women who do want to divest, should divestors promote gym memberships and weight loss among Black women?
Oh, no, you didn't.
No, but I'm being serious. I'm like, if we want to see results, if we want to see more Black women resting in their femininity with Brad, like if we want to see that, and we want to prove Tyrone wrong, then we have to actually talk about strategies to get to that point. So do you think gym membership, personal training would be a part of that strategy so that Black women could actually successfully divest?
First of all, let me say you are extra petty for that question.
Okay. Is that petty? That is a real honest. That's a real factual. That is a factual question because that's actually what it might take. I mean, especially if they want to go for the top of the top.
Second of all, you didn't let me finish. Absolutely, sis. It's in a man's nature. I don't care if he's purple, pink, blue, polka dotted, black, brown, whatever. Men are very visual creatures. They absolutely would desire a woman that is in shape, that is taking care of herself, that is aesthetically pleasing to the eye. And a lot of us are not only being held back amongst our group of men, okay, but you're definitely going to be held back amongst other groups of men because they have a certain type of physique that they are actually going after. It's the Black men actually that love the more curvature shapes and the thicker body types. If you're going to divest, sis, they like sticklies. Okay. They like the.
Okay. So they know a lot about what non-Black men want. Isn't that interesting? You probably could go to their channels and they could teach you what non-Black men want because they seem to be speaking from a place of authority about what non-Black men want. And what they said, where that troll go? That was like, why you didn't put some fat Black women on the page? The 4 women in the video are not fat. One. 2, Danica Marie just said that Black men like curvy, thick women. She just said it. She said, y'all the ones that like them big. Is that why you wanted me to put a big girl in the picture? Because that's what you want to see? Because that's what y'all like to see? You see what I'm saying? Don't come over here playing with me. Let's continue.
Gym model type of females.
Yeah,
and so if you're going to divest, you have to actually not only talk it, but you have to walk it and be it. Like you have to really engulf yourself in that culture, that lifestyle, what that looks like, what appeals to them. And a lot of us.
Wow. She had a lot of advice for what you can do if you want to divest. You see what I'm saying? So what I feel like is these women are thinking about divesting. They're thinking about what it's like to be seen as a beautiful woman without having to sacrifice your literal mentality for it. They're thinking about what it's like to be with a man who loves you and you don't have to say everything he wants to hear. What's that like? I think they're thinking about what it's like to not have people like that troll that came over here with their weird, bizarre, you know what I'm saying? Standards. Again, most black people live in the hood in America. That is a fact. That's a lot of skinny chicks in the hood. Sadly, a lot of them also go missing, trafficked. Y'all not protecting these skinny women. If I had to live in the hood today, I'd be on my 600-pound life. Fuck. I'd be on my 600-pound life. Sure would be. Sure would be. Superstar. They'll make you a superstar on that show. Then you can get some money. Then maybe you can get some money to get the hell on out of the hood, and then you can lose weight. The hoods are food deserts. A size 4 in the hood for what? Be damn. Let's continue.
Just going to be honest, we don't appeal to them. Like we on this panel, we would be more appealing to divest. We would be more appealing to guys outside of our culture, more so than a lot of females that are promoting the lifestyle, because they don't look the part, and most importantly, they are not promoting the lifestyle. You see
what I'm saying? They are thinking about how they would, they're like, yes, Brad would definitely want us. So it's okay if Brad likes skinny black women, which if you look around, that's most of the black women that are with white men that are being promoted. It's clearly that they're fit and shape women. I'm on the thick, curvy side myself, but like I said, I've been losing weight working out. Don't get it twisted. And I make no apologies for gaining weight when at a time in American history when everyone gained weight. I don't care. Okay. It is what it is. Everything fucking stopped. You couldn't go to the gym no more. It is what it is. All right. It was a hard year. We got back. We got back on track. Now, do I believe that black women interested in divesting should have a way of working out? Yes, I do. I've been to gyms in the hood. They ain't shit. They are very uncomfortable places to be. I would not go to a gym in the hood again. If I had to do it again, I would walk up and down my steps for fucking 2 hours before I would go to a gym in the hood. They're not safe places for black women, period. Now, stop telling black women who have to work hard, that have to live in the hood, what they better look like and what they better do. If you want to specify and say this is for black women who have the means of living in the middle class, the upper middle class, these are standards that we're placing on y'all, okay. But this generalization without the understanding of context, without the understanding that most black people are living in hoods, I don't get it. Is y'all off in the suburbs? Because y'all look like y'all was well taken care of ladies. Y'all don't, you know what I'm saying? And I've even heard other women in the manosphere, which is a place filled with men and women. I guess these guys don't have a place for themselves. That's interesting. That's very nice of them to open their space to so many women. And I've heard other women in the manosphere, not the women in this video particularly, but I've heard other women say that they wouldn't want to be with a guy who had a difficult relationship with their mother, or a guy that was adopted, or a guy that grew up in foster care. When statistically, you know how many black kids are in foster care? So these women don't even want. You see what I'm saying? They telling y'all, oh yeah, I will cater to you and yada. But if you go over to her and let her know, yeah, I don't have a good relationship with my mom. Yeah, because most of y'all don't like y'all mamas. I grew up in foster care. They've said they don't want to be with men like you. Let's continue.
You have to be and look the part. As far as your shape is concerned, keeping yourself together, doing your hair, washing your ass. Okay, excuse me, ladies, but a lot of them not taking care of themselves, as far as hygiene, all of that needs to be touched upon and absolutely executed upon before even thinking about divesting. You guys can't even get the men that you desire amongst your own group. No shade, sis. So what do you think that you're going to do when you're trying to divest and go somewhere else? And I'm going to shut up. And rest in my femininity. Right?
You know, and I'm going to say this before we have anybody clap back and say, well, that's not true. Like there are sociological studies out there that have proven this. I mean, in the Black beauty standard video I created, I basically, in that study, I went and I looked at, okay, what do Black men prefer versus other cultures? And a few of the studies showed that, like, you know, white men across the board, they prefer more smaller frames. So you're not making this up. Like, there's studies to back this up. And then I mean, honestly, like, if you just see, you know, what in the Black culture may be considered a 9, you know what I mean? And white culture may be like, nah, she's a 4, she's too overweight, she's too curvy, you know what I mean? Like, slim fit for us is overweight, you know. So it's like there is a difference. And again, if you really want to try to move forward in that kind of culture, these are the kinds of things you need to know. Like, what are the beauty standards? Like, what are expectations? Yes. Okay, what happens when you meet the mom, when you meet the parents? You go to the church, you go to their family gathering. Like, how do you talk? Like, all those things, you know, learning about the culture is really important if that's something you really want to do. And you're not going to be learning about the culture if you spend every 2 seconds talking about Black men.
Okay, we live in America. This is American culture. That's one. White people steal from Black culture far more and white culture is enforced upon Black people. So if you have a job, if you work at PWI, if your husband has a job somewhere, it's usually he works for a white man in some capacity. I don't care if he owns his own building. He had to buy that from somebody. Y'all not buying from each other. So I think that you have a general understanding of Black people in America have a general understanding of how to interact with white people. What else is there to learn? You learn American history in school. There's nothing else to learn. There's no white American culture like that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things that they have, that they enjoy in culture, they take from Black people. Dancing, music. If you like country music, yeah, it's going to be a lot of white people. But Black folk have been in country from the beginning. We're in all genres of music. We have started most genres of music. You know, when dudes is like, you put on weight, you put on weight. Guess what? My husband put on weight too at the same damn time. We eating the same fucking food. Y'all act like white people ain't overweight. You see what I'm saying? But then they want to sit here and say divestors pedestalize whiteness. That sounded like some pedalization of whiteness there. Oh, you got to do so much to be with a white person. Why? Why you can't just be yourself? And by yourself, I mean an educated woman who is intelligent, who knows how to critically think, who wants to take care of herself, who understands that she needs to heal. Why you can't do that? Why you can't be that? Who says you have to be somebody else to get somebody else? I don't get that. If you ain't changing for me, I ain't changing for you. Now, my husband loves the way that I cook, for example. That's why I'm about to get to it soon. Okay? He likes to listen. Do you know how much we listen to YMCMB? God damn it. YMCMB. Okay, you know how much we listened to Drake and Nicki and Lil Wayne when we first started dating? We still do. It's we were just listening to CLB all the time. Certified Lover Boy. That's our new jam. When we're in the car driving, you know. He doesn't, try to dress like some, Black person. He doesn't try to, you see what I'm saying? He doesn't try to steal the culture, but he appreciates it. The woman carries the culture. So if you're divested, all you have to do is work on yourself and not giving into things that no longer serve you. You don't have to worry about the culture of the man, because the bottom line is, as the mother, you'll be raising the children, and it will be what you teach them of what your culture is and your understanding of that. So that was all cap right there, but okay.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're pretty pissed.
So can I add one more thing, though?
Yeah,
I want to add one more thing. if you're going to divest and you're looking to attract a man of a different race or background or whatever, they're going to look for, considering the fact that majority of us are going to first and foremost seek after people that are of our same kind. You know, if they do decide to go outside of their race, you have to be exceptional. You know, like, because like you said, I'm gonna introduce you to my family and stuff of that nature, you know. And so I want to have somebody, if I do choose to do that, I have to have somebody to where they can look at this person and absolutely know why I chose this person outside of somebody that they would want me to.
So they feel like they represent exceptional Black women, so they would be qualified to divest, because in their mind, divest means sleeping with white men. And they look good enough to get white men, but the divestors don't. Okay.
With. And a lot of us, we don't measure up. It's like, girl, that would be like, son, why are you with Cassandra? That's going on, son. But if Cassandra was in shape and taking care of herself, and she was even outdoing the...
So that's not how they talk. White people are just like any other regular person. They don't talk like they're like in the 50s being like, son, why'd you bring home Quanisha? Why'd you do it, son? No, this ain't Pleasantville. You know, I was at the lowest weight I've ever been in my life when I met my husband's mother. I was a size 4. I will show you I'll post it on the community tab. How thin I was when I met my husband's mother. I was a size 4, highly educated, more educated than she'll ever be. She didn't go to college. I met my husband in undergrad, so I don't have to prove shit to her. I gave her respect because I'm dating her son, and I'm in her home. And that's about as far as the respect will go. If you don't like me, I don't care, bitch. Now, how about that? How about that? I'm not going to kiss their ass. I'm not kissing nobody's ass. Now, my husband knows this when we got together. We had a very long talk. I told him everything about me before we started dating. At that point, everything about me, right? And one of those includes that I grew up in foster care. Because I know how classist and elitist people are when it comes to people, Black children who grew up in foster care. Like a lot of these fucking pick-me's. I'm not calling these ladies pick-me's, but you know, if the shoe fits, right? Who say, I don't want to be with a man who was adopted or who grew up in foster care, doesn't have a good relationship with his mom. So, of course, she didn't know much about me when I met her. But I think me being honest about the fact that I grew up in foster care was something that she felt made her better than me. Besides the fact that she's a backwards, you know, behind Karen, right? So she didn't go to college. She didn't go to graduate school. She didn't go to undergrad. She didn't spend 7 years advancing her education. She didn't go to private school. I went to private Catholic school, kindergarten to 12th grade. I've had an elite education my entire life. My husband's mother didn't have that. So who the fuck is she? I don't have to prove shit to her. I don't. Somebody sent her that message too, because apparently she ain't getting neither. I'm the prize. And he scooped me up because he recognized the prize when he saw one. And he didn't give a damn what his mama thought. Because a man, at the end of the day, has to be a man. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 22. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. You understand that? He who finds a wife, not he who kisses his mama's ass. At the end of the day, if she don't like it, tough. Honor thy mother and father that thy days may be long. Yes, I will give you honor and respect, but you're not going to control my life. And I don't have to honor my biological father because he didn't honor me, bitch. Bitch ass nigga. Okay. Please thumbs up the video and subscribe if you're in the room. Let's see. These women are speaking as people who have clearly never dated a person outside of their culture. Period. Period. They're like, when you go over to the magical fairyland, it's Candyland. And white men, they dancing on the rooftops. White women they're wearing big dresses. So you have to be, get the fuck out of here. They're people same as anybody else. Fuck. Ain't nobody getting pedestalized over here. Nah, we ain't doing that. We're all the same. People love to be like, we're the human race. Act like it. Act like it. Because I know we're the human race, baby. I know it. And she thought I was going to sit there. My husband's mother thought that I was going to sit and deal with trying to kiss her ass and shit. I have shit to prove to you, bitch. No. They don't even realize they're revealing their own low self-esteem. Exactly. Isn't that sad? They were like, they were thinking about all the things that they would do if they were divested. Did you catch that? That was crazy, yo. I was like, wow, y'all sitting up here saying y'all like these divestors, yeah. But it sounds like y'all daydreaming about what it would be like if you were a divestor, right? You would do it right. Right? Because you would pedestalize the next nigga, right? No, men like women, I'm telling you right now, men like women that think for themselves. High value, high earning men, high quality men like women who think for themselves. Ain't nobody sitting over here trying to kiss a parent's behind. Grow up. How long you gonna kiss they behind? How long? That's why I called my biological daddy and cussed his ass out. Now, and if I see him again, I'm gonna do the same. Nigga, I don't like you. Let's continue.
So women amongst this group, it would be more tolerated or at least better understood. But we're not even trying to make those adjustments, or accommodations. Like, you have to actually be somebody that is worth saying, you know what? I'm going to ditch my own to get with you. And a lot of us, I'm going to be honest, we're not that. And it's no shade, that's just the truth. No, so start promoting, going to the gym, taking care of yourself, eating right, and making a whole lifestyle change. That way, when you do divest or go somewhere else, you'll be better suited for the job, if you will.
Right. Wow, they're giving really great advice for divesting. It's something that they thought a lot about and know a lot about, apparently. It's interesting. So do you not like divestors, or do you just think you could have done it better? My World says, that's how you can tell they are not around many white people, because if they did, they would know they don't speak like that, Danie. Exactly. They're like, son, why did you bring Shaniqua home? No. Like I said, because these people don't admit their prejudices. They don't have the balls to admit their prejudices either, right? So this is stuff that they don't even realize that they feel, right? And I think my husband's mother was very surprised to see me. Again, she has a darker phenotype, more on that like Kardashian type of phenotype, right? And I think that she wanted to live vicariously through her son to finally feel like, she had arrived into whiteness, right? Through his phenotype of having a more recessive a look, right? And so the realization that if he marries this black woman and they have children together, I'm not going to be able to walk around with the children of the corn as my grandkids. I think that had her feeling some type of way. Sorry, you're not going to get no children of the corn, but you might get some children on the corn cob. You might get some children on the corn cob. Okay? But no, it's not going to be no children of the corn over here. You raised your son, he looked like a children of the corn. My husband looked like one of the children of the corn when he was growing up. Is that not enough? But one thing I'm never going to do is live for somebody else. I knew when I met my husband's family, I am well educated. I look the good, the fuck. She was jealous about that. I got melanin. I got melanin. That's a gift. That's the gift that keeps giving. What more do you want? Oh, I'm supposed to kiss your ass too? That's not gonna happen. So bye. I'm not doing that. I'm not living like that. I'm not living like that. Alexander says, who are they to speak about what white men want? Exactly. Thank you. Brad is tired of y'all speaking for him. He can speak for himself. And he has spoken. Exactly what I was thinking. They thought of all these rules that they imagine exist. They just don't get it. They need help. Exactly. They're like, well, you got a white man. You living in a fairy tale. You gotta do this and that. If you look good like us. Like, okay, my husband like them thick. Okay. My husband likes it thick. But okay. This is, it was just hilarious to me because I thought they were going to be having a conversation about, and I haven't listened to the whole video because their video this video is over 2 hours long. I only got through like half of it, but hey, it is what it is. I heard enough. Okay.
Absolutely facts. I want to read out their super chats real quick, and then we are going to I'll move over to
okay.
Females, as you put it, not women, but females who do not have the.
Let's see if there's another clip that I can
on their
show you guys.
That female or these females,
how much they, they seem to have a it's not like they dislike divesting. They just think that the women who are promoting it are doing it wrong. I think that's interesting. I really do. I'm like, wow. So y'all not against divesting. Y'all just think y'all could have done it better. Interesting. Let's see if there's anything else I have to say before I wrap it up and get going.
they got bad personality, they got bad hygiene, they got bad attitude, whatever it may be. These men are going to be like, sign me up. Like, they're not going to do that. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, you can't act like your inability to get along with men within your community is going to now increase your desirability among other men.
Exactly.
If anything, they're going to be like, nah, you need to stay over there and figure that out.
Exactly.
Right.
And then, well, I think
I agree with that. I think, you have to be able to get along with people. And but at the same time, this isn't the real world. This is the YouTube streets. A lot of this stuff is, again, for clicks, for clout, for entertainment. Right? In the real world, I think people generally know how to act. So that's one of the reasons why, I don't compare in my real world experiences. Since it's certainly for the past 5 years, I can say easily, I've had generally decent experiences with men from various races, ethnicities, what have you. Generally, and I don't buy into what's going on online, because again, I know that online is people with fake personas, and they don't have that smoke in the real world. But everything I say, I talk about on here, that's how I live it. All right? Nobody from my family or my husband's family is getting Christmas gifts this year. They don't know how to act. I will divest from anything that no longer serves me. A relationship where people think that I'm supposed to bend over backwards for them and play mediocre for their insecurities and repeat what they want to hear, that's not a relationship I want to be in. So I don't care.
What they fail to realize is at the end of the day, we tend to stick with our kind. We tend to stick with who we can relate to. So if you aren't going over there being easily coachable, being easily ready to get on their program and live life how they live it, then they're not going to want you. Because why would I step outside to date someone who doesn't look like me, who is not of my culture, and then still is so stubborn in her own way?
See, they think that non-black men approach things the way that men have told them in the community that they do. All right? I've told you guys before, they're not going to admit to y'all that they find white skin attractive. Men find skin colors that are not like theirs attractive. That's something that men find attractive. That is why there's such a horrible colorism issue in the black community, because the one drop rule has allowed them to marry women and say she's black and the woman is closer to whiteness closer to white skin in her literal skin tone than she is to a black person. And then they're telling you, well, she's black. I married black. I did it. They've done this for generations. My great-grandmother, who raised me, her mother was Native American, Cherokee. I know what tribes I'm from. Fuck. And my great-granddaddy was dark as night. And that's how most unions are in my family. The woman is very light, the guy is very dark. And these couples will look at me and talk about, oh, why you dating out? Get the fuck out of here. Straight hypocrisy. These men love looking at that lighter skin. They love it. I'm sorry that they're not going to tell you that. All right, but I've had some one-on-ones with them. All right? I'm a chick that's not afraid to roll up. You understand? And not in the car. I mean Mary Jane. Okay? And when you roll up and sit back and have a little, Mary Jane session, these dudes will tell you some truths. I've been told by black men that they were afraid to have their children come out the same color as them. They just never wanted their children to be the same color as them. They like different color skin. Okay? I'm sorry. So they're like, why would he date out and choose somebody different from who he is? Because he saw her and he fucking thought she looked good. That's what men do. They look at a woman, she looked good. Now, I'm sorry, Chantel, but let's keep it a buck. You're not married to be talking about stuff. You're not dated interracially. So how the hell do you know what a man you would never be with would want? See, I don't do that. I don't sit on here and be like, and they want this and want that. I'm telling you, generally, men are attracted to women with different skin tones than them. I'm so sorry. They're not going to tell y'all that.
On my program to be a part of my culture. What are our kids going to look like? Like, how is raising kids going to be if you on one fence and I'm like, come on.
Absolutely.
My husband does not care what our kids look like, and he said 1,000,000 times, I hope they look just like you. Okay, which, he's not a guy that's been around kids. He's a computer, finance guy, so that's not his lane. But, hey, we both love it. We'll see how it goes. We're going to love our kids no matter what. But the point is, like, white guys aren't like this isn't slavery times, right? Like, this isn't, Thomas Jefferson didn't care what his kids looked like. All he knew was that he was a dog. And these dudes aren't telling y'all that, especially when they get that money, they don't want their kids to go through what they went through. They don't plan to do any work in terms of legislation. And I work with and I organize with Black men who are working for Black American people. So I'm not talking about social political issues. I'm talking about dating. Men don't care what the children will look like. Obviously, if they pick a woman that looks nothing like them, they understand what's going to happen. She said, why would he choose you? And you don't look anything like all his women, because that doesn't matter to them. Their position in society is cemented. They don't need validation through marriage or anything else to be who they are. They don't gatekeep each other. They're not like, yo, you ain't white. That's not what they do. They don't even have those conversations in real life. They don't have the conversations. But y'all wouldn't know that because y'all don't know anything about other people. So stop.
That's facts. Now, Riven, what do you think? Should divulgers promote gym memberships and weight loss among Black women?
Yeah, I think that they should promote, being the best version of yourself, as everyone has said, because to be with any man, you have to, be the best version of yourself, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that they're incapable of being the best version of themselves, which is why they have these sentiments, which is why they say the things that they say, which is why they think getting with Brad makes more sense than getting together. Because at the end of the day, Danica's so funny. Because at the end of the day, when you get into relationships, if it's from pure connection, if it's from love, if it's from like that angle, do whatever you got to do. You know what I'm saying? People who makes you happy. But if your sole purpose on dating outside of your race is because of all these negative connotations that you have in your mind, you're not on the best. You're obviously not elevated. Your mindset is obviously in the wrong place. Your heart is in the wrong place. So how could you possibly tell other women how to get a man on that side of the?
But yet they don't have any of that same smoke for the overwhelming larger number of Black men that date out than Black women. They're not trying to have conversations with these men about how, oh, you hate yourselves because so many of you choose much lighter skinned women and or straight go to Becky, right? There's no smoke. There's no conversation. They pretend that it's not even happening. They pretend that it's not even happening to have these conversations. Delusion, truly.
Drax. But where you are mentally, you're literally over here, trying to fight your own traumas, trying to fight your own drama, right? The stuff that you have gone through and the stuff that you're mad at your daddy, so you don't want to date no Black man. Like, you know what I'm saying? So let's just be, let's be honest. Let's be clear about it. So how can you tell other women how to elevate themselves or even be the best version of themselves? And you've already kind of stepped away from what your race actually is anyway. So you don't need to talk to us about nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Hold on.
You got something to say?
Rover, did you just say that they not capable of? What did you start this off with?
So dating outside your race, marrying outside your race, if you're a Black woman, means you don't know anything about your race. But all these niggas out here fucking all these non-Black women left and right? And it turns into nothing, but maybe a baby they don't take care of. That's not being put on the table. I know a lot of Black people that are together that don't want to talk about racism. They don't want to talk about racism or race in America or what they can do for Black folk. Is that understanding your race when you sit around pretending like the way that your society is shaped doesn't affect you when it clearly does?
Not even capable of being the best version of themselves. So how you gonna get
Dang.
Okay, I just want to clarify because
I'm gonna need a water break on that one.
How? Not possible.
No, well, that's the thing about it. To your point, if you have zero appetite for the truth, like if you can't say 2 + 2 = 4, then you're not going to be able to progress past first grade. So to your point, you have a lot of females, as you put it, not women, but females who do not have the appetite to actually look in the mirror and say, this is what's going on. They cannot be self-accountable. Like self-accountability to them is like kryptonite. Mm-hmm. So with that,
I agree. It's a lot of women that don't know how to be accountable. I think it's probably equal amount of men that don't know how to be accountable. So again, I don't understand the the pointing out on one end when it's clearly a problem overall.
That being said, yeah, you can't be the best version of yourself because you can't even identify where you're at in that moment. You can't even say, oh, this is myself today. Myself today has a bad attitude. Myself today is, is bitter. Myself today is traumatic. Like, one of the comments I got earlier today, a woman was just like, you shaming women for saying that Black women are traumatized. I'm like, that's not shaming. That's identifying a problem. Like if I see, I don't know, if a bird poops on a woman's face, and I'm like, girl, you got bird poop on your face. And she's like, girl, you shaming me. This is shaming me. I'm like, no, that's not makeup. That's bird poop. Like, I'm not shaming you because I'm
trying to help you get it out.
Animal feces on your face. That's what I'm saying. So we got people walking around with animal feces on their face, saying it's makeup. And it's like, honey, that stinks. That's not makeup. That is animal feces. Let's wipe that off. And to your point, if you can't get past that, then it's like there really is no room to evolve whatsoever. Even because it's like the truth will set you free. You have to actually first acknowledge, where is my truth today? Where am I broken today? So I can move forward. And so many of
I reject this notion that I should have to forgive what my father did, which was abandon his Black wife and his Black children to throw himself an eternal pity party. So therefore I can't have entered my interracial relationship for my own reasons. My father has never been a part of my life. He's always been something on the outside. I grew up in the hood and nobody had a father. I know now all y'all got fathers, but again, you're either lying on the hood or you're lying about your experiences. Because if you had a father, then most likely you didn't grow up in the hood. And if you didn't grow up in the hood, why are you talking to people in the hood? If you didn't grow up in the hood, why are you talking to the experiences of people who grew up in the hood? Y'all already know I don't like that shit. I'm not going to have anybody like my father around me or my children. That's something my mother should have done. She couldn't do it, so I did it for her. My great-grandmother and my mama told me my daddy wasn't shit, okay? Okay, so I'm not the only one that doesn't think this man ain't shit. A man that can't take care of his kids, like, why does somebody be mad at their daddy for no reason, right? I'm not mad at him. I don't give a fuck about him. But if you want to talk about thinking about what your father owes you, ain't that fucked up? That you let your kids grow up in foster care and you didn't take care of your children? Ain't that fucked up? What's more fucked up than that? What I'm doing dating interracially is more fucked up than what that Black man did, not taking care of his kids, letting them grow up in foster care? Is that what you're telling me? Lofte says, if Black women dated out because they were angry with their daddies, then most Black women would never date out. I've never heard a Black woman say she dated out because of her daddy. Never. I've never heard it. I've never even heard any other Black women. There's a lot of Black women I know who didn't have fathers. But most of them are like, oh, well, it is what it is. That's how most of us handled it. I said it is what it is. I've already told y'all before. I would grow up, go to PWIs. All of my friends were suburban Black. Most all were suburban Black and or non-Black people. I would go over to my white friends' houses and stuff for sleepovers, and their dads would be there, and I'd be like, why is your dad still here? When is he gonna leave? I didn't understand that men were living in the home with their children because I didn't grow up seeing that. So I didn't give a fuck. You see what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't like, oh, where's my daddy? Nobody had a daddy in the hood. Nobody had a daddy. So that didn't affect shit. Mocha Mommy said, gotta catch the replay. I know this conversation is going to be lit. Yeah, it's been as respectful as they gave it. It's been as respectful as they've been. It's how I've been. Absolutely. Reciprocity. Cosmic Journey says, good to see you, Mocha Mommy. Cosmic Journey says, yeah, I've heard of any Black women say that she's dating out because of her dad. Exactly. Like, because my dad, that's not how it works. It's not how it works. I think a lot of times too, because they don't have a father, Black women who date out the least of any group of people in America, because they don't have a father, they stay yearning for someone that reminds them of their father. I think a lot of times, see, I'm very dark skinned. It's not a moment in my life, not one moment, where it hasn't been made very clear to me, okay, that I haven't been very, very aware that I am a dark skinned Black woman. So I don't need validation from nobody. I don't need to be like, I got 2 Black parents. You can look at me and tell I have 2 Black parents. I'm sorry, 2 biological Black parents. A daddy does. Okay. But, you know, right? I've clearly come from 2 Black people. You can look at me and tell that. I've had enough hard experiences and struggle to last a lifetime. I don't need to link up with some dude so that I feel Black and no, bitch, I'm gonna be Black. Y'all fighting to be Black, something that whiteness told you were. First, whiteness established itself. Black isn't something that Black folk came up with. Whiteness told you that you're Black and I'm Black. Again, I'm not here for the gatekeeping of Blackness by Black people, okay? You're supposed to gatekeep to keep people who are obviously not a part of it out. Not to sit there and be like, you should have done Blackness like this. But I'm Black. The Blackness is here, baby. Cosmic Journey says, my father wasn't there either. He's a stranger to me. Right. Nobody care about this man. I'm not thinking about him when I'm out dating. I stopped thinking about him since I was a child. I've been thinking about him. When he would pop up the way pop-ups do, he's a pop-up. He's a deadbeat pop-up. When he would pop up the way pop-ups do, I was always like, ugh. I was like, ugh, he ain't gonna never bring nothing. I was the most annoyed one in the house. Okay? I've always been about that, okay? Level up. I'm like, what is you doing for me? Then get the fuck out. All you gonna do is eat our food? Get the fuck out of here. Mocha Mommy says, my dad was not surprised at all by who I married. My husband and dad get along so well and have a lot in common. Exactly. I know more Black women who have fathers that are divested and married out than I do Black women who didn't. Understand this. Understand this. I've told y'all before. Black men who work hard to provide their kids a good life will tell them to open their options and get the best man for the job. Y'all gotta be kidding me. That shit is hilarious. You know how many times I've been around Black friends and stuff? I was at one Black friend's place, a Jamaican friend of mine. She was having a barbecue. Me and my husband were there. Her dad and my husband talked all night. They talked all night. He was so impressed by my husband and how much he could see. He was like, oh, wow, her parents were still married, my Jamaican friend. He was like, oh, man, wow, that man loves. He was so happy. He was like, that man loves her. You can see how much he loves her. He was so happy and excited for that shit. So miss me with the bullshit. Miss me with the bullshit. Now, that's my personal experiences that I've observed. And I'm sure if you look at the numbers, it would coincide that you would see there are more Black women who had their fathers in their life date out than Black women who didn't have their fathers. Now, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Alexander says, I'm seeing more biracials in foster care and their dads are Black men. It's true. It's true. I've told y'all that before. They call the kids Black, but the truth is a lot of these Black kids that they say are in foster care are biracial. They're biracial. Okay, and their moms don't want to be single mothers. You know how many biracial kids I grew up with in foster care? That's what I'm talking about. So people are on here talking. I would not talk to y'all about one topic that I didn't personally know about. Oh, thank you, Mocha Mommy. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. Love Tay says, Cosmic Journey, my deadbeat dad didn't raise me, but he raised 4 others. He's still a deadbeat to me. I'm not with my white husband because of him. Exactly. Ain't nobody thinking about them. Like, I don't get it. I've never done that one thing because of or for him. Like, yeah, I hate y'all daddy. I don't think about that nigga. The fuck? I don't think about him. And y'all want to talk about black women dying alone, but deadbeat dads are going to die alone. Ha ha! Deadbeat dads are dying alone. How about that? Exactly. When is Danica Marie going to tell black men if they date or marry out not to abandon their kids and their non-black women? Right. I thought they were trying to fix the community and save the world. Come on. Where does it come from all sides? Because y'all have been here when other black women have come to this channel being like, why are you talking about this? And why are you talking about that? And you better do this and you better do that. And I had to set them straight. I don't barely talk to black men because black men don't be over here like that. But I'm going to talk about the issues. And I'm not going to play sides and pick and choose when stats matter and when they don't. So if you're jumping on the end of this video, please thumbs up the video and subscribe. But don't play yourself. I agree with a lot of things that these women said. I said a lot of what they have to say is valid. I've pointed out when I've also pointed out some of the things that they've said as well. But, you know, I mean, they really went in on the magical land of interracial dating and how because they're thin, they could do it better. I know a lot of skinny black women that's struggling. I don't think it's size that's the determining factor of that. And I'm a lot healthier right now than I was at my lowest weight, which again, at some point I'll post the photo on my community tab and you guys can see the size that I was at my lowest weight. And I was very thin and I wasn't comfortable being that thin. I'm not going to try to get back to that size, but somewhere in between my healthier size and that size is where I'll be focusing on getting. But that's not like, I wasn't a better partner to my husband when I was thin than I am today. The fact that they emphasize size so much, like, you know, and that's something that men do. It's just divisive hogwash, honestly. Like, I think that women should work out and be healthy. You know how many SJWs and big black women on Twitter that have blocked me because they were like, working out is inherently anti-fat. You fat phobia if you work out. And I was like, bitch, what the fuck is you talking about? If you hate working out, just say that. And like, I do work out. No, you don't. I know what people who work out sound like. If you think going to the gym is fat phobia, you do not work out. Okay? So get your ass out and work out and move before you keep coming online talking about the doctor said it was because I was overweight. Because if you get yourself to a place where you are morbidly obese, every ailment you have, they're going to tell you to lose weight. That's what they're going to do. And they do this across the board. Red, yellow, black, and white. If you are morbidly obese, almost anything that happens to you, unless you're bleeding, they're going to tell you, you need to lose weight. And I don't want black women to be in that position because we have to deal with enough medical racism. So I advocate for healthiness. I always have. You can look at the history of my channel. But like, so what? A woman might put on weight every now and then. Women get pregnant. Women put on weight. Men put on weight. Men don't get shamed for putting on weight. I haven't seen a snatched waistline from none of these dudes that talk about these issues yet. My dad was in home, but he wasn't there for me emotionally. Exactly. Sometimes they're there and, you know, they don't really contribute. So what does that mean? Are women that whose fathers were in their lives who get with black men, are they thinking about their fathers? Or are they just getting in the relationship that they want to get into? Because if you're thinking about your father as you enter into a romantic, intimate relationship with a man, something's wrong with you. Who does that? Weird. Bizarre. Are we taking callers? You know what? If y'all want to come on the panel, there's the link. I just dropped it. If anybody wants to come up and tell me how they feel about this issue before I head off, it's 12:13. My poor husband. You know, he is surviving on on peanuts right now as he waits for me to make what is now brunch lunch. But, you know, he knew when I got up this morning, I was like, you know, I'm feeling passionate about it, so it might be a while. And I thank him for his patience. So yeah, KRBK, if you'd like to join the panel, I dropped the link. If you want to come up and I can't have a long conversation with y'all because I really do have to go. But if y'all want to come up real quick and say how you feel about this issue, I'd love to hear what you have to say. I'm sick of them saying, "Hi, Pink Lotus. Black women should lose weight to be with men. You should be losing weight to save your life and be healthy." Thank you, Pink Lotus, for a fucking man. Men don't make money for women. They make money for themselves. Yes, wanting a certain type of woman might make them work harder, but it's not for her either. It's for him to get what he wants. So again, black women are living in, many black women live in abject poverty, homelessness, working class folk. They have to deal with street harassment, catcalling, hostile work environments. And guess what? We know how to cook. With all of that combined, you might have women that are, and I would argue, the more you cook for yourself and learn how to cook healthy, the healthier you will eat. And you'll be able to combat gaining weight. You can love food, but that doesn't mean that you have to like put on a bunch of weight, right? Learn how to cook with olive oil and, you know, replace these butters and fats with healthy oils, things like that, right? I love fresh ingredients, so fresh fish and vegetables, and you know, we have a juicer. I love to juice and you know, prepare those throughout the week, right, to help me have a little healthy detox for myself. These are all things that you can do when I couldn't do that shit in the hood, and nothing that I have now was available in the hood. So what are you talking about? And the fact that they can't put that shit together, I'm like, wow, y'all must have had really blessed lives, that you don't understand that people that live in food deserts are going to have a hard time eating healthy. You can't put that shit together. No smoke for all these overweight men, just, and the women fat. And they, I mean, did you hear the host of the show, Ches Charday? She's like, and they smell, and they don't clean themselves. And wow, that's sisterly love. Just say you are here to pander to them, but stop lying and saying you're here for the women, because you're not. I don't like that shit. That's weird. Cousin Jerry says, sorry, I'm missing out. We're not feeling well. Realized what I wrote didn't make sense. Oh, no, it's fine. I feel like it made sense. Cosmic Journey. And white men love black women with curves. Thank you. I'm like, are you kidding me? They grow up around women that don't have curves. So in general, just like how if you notice, a lot of Dusties on here will come and be like, I remember I posted a picture of Meg Thee Stallion, right? Who my husband thinks is a very beautiful woman, right? He looks at Meg Thee Stallion, he's like, Meg Thee Stallion is one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. That's what he thinks when he sees Meg Thee Stallion. These Dusties came to my community tab and were like, ugh, that's what you think is pretty? That's what you think look beautiful? I'm like, wow, so what you want what other men were raised on? Then go get it. I don't think that it wants you, but go get it. But that's crazy. There's men out there that will find that find beautiful, black, curvy women attractive. If that's not you, move along, Dusty. Nobody was saying nothing to them. I posted a picture of Meg Thee Stallion, and they came over to my channel saying that she didn't look good enough for them. Get the fuck out of here. Because remember when she was laid up with G-Eazy? Remember how they was in their feelings? Fuck out of here. It's just a bunch of mess and hypocrisy and lies. None of them have a snatched waistline. None of them are Idris Elba's, but always have something to say about the way someone look. Exactly. Come on. It's come on. Like, you look crazy. You look crazy. I exercise for myself, take care of me, for myself first before anything else. Period. Period. All right, that's what I'm always going to do. So this was the link. I didn't see anybody join, so I'll assume that you guys don't want to join on this one. Maybe the next one we'll have a discussion. I know that when people address some of these content creators, they like to, you know, make video. I'm not doing this to be addressed back or anything like that. They put out, you know, this content was put out there and I'm responding to it. That's all. So I'm going to head out and make my husband breakfast. And I kind of don't mind that you guys aren't joining the panel because I promised my husband breakfast hours ago. Now it's lunch. So thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I think that people want to come on here and make money and clown other members of their race to do that. Because see, what I'm doing right here, without a doubt, you know, does not make money. And, you know, they'll say things like, if I was hating on one group of black people in this video, that's what makes money. Not sitting here and telling black people to have a higher racial esteem. That's not going to make money. So they'll say things like, oh, well, I'm just trying to help the community and I'm trying to help black families. And this shit does not help black communities and black families. What they're doing is not to help black communities and black families. It's to coddle the insecurities of a lot of these dusty guys. Just be honest, you know? So thank you guys again. I really appreciate it. I had a good time with y'all this morning. Thank you. Aw, thank you guys. My husband will very much appreciate it. You know, y'all always looking out. You know, y'all always looking out. My husband loves the Steelies as much as I do. So thank y'all so much. And I will see y'all soon. Please thumbs up the video, subscribe before you go, share the video with someone that you think needs it, and listen to the playback if you missed out on some things, because don't comment on my video and you didn't listen to everything I said without context because you heard a snippet you don't like. I don't care about none of that. All right. Love y'all, Steelies. You guys rock. Okay, I'll see you soon.